Good morning, HODLers. In this episode, we have the pleasure of having Julie Lamb, aka How To with Julie Sue, on the show, where we talk about her journey leading up to Web3, her journey in Web3, and what she envisions Web3 moving forward as well as followed by the interview. We'll be doing some NFT news and alpha. We'll be talking Draftkings Week 5 NFL Slate for Reignmakers and the weekly, and we'll also be doing some Cozyverse blockchain gaming. So now, without squirrel ado, my name is Malo, and I'll be your host for today's episode of Good Morning HODLers here on BitmonkeyTV. Without squirrel ado, times two, let's give Julie Sue a warm welcome.
Hey,
hello.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Oh my gosh, good morning or good afternoon or good evening, depending on where you are and when you're looking at this.
So I'd love to chime in there. So the reason I chose Good Morning HODLers is no matter what time of day it is, no matter when you're watching the show, if you're watching the show, you're early. So good morning. So that's the whole kind of theme around it. So I love that you brought that up. How are you doing today?
Today is a great day. And I am reminded by friends of mine and yours, some common friends along the way, to take a breath. And so I carved out some time today to make sure that I was able to do that. And you were number one on my list. So I wanted to ramp right up into our time zone and know that I could come on strong. Mm-hmm. And so I'm perfectly fueled, well balanced, and ready to get it on. Let's go.
I love it. That's fantastic. I had a similar day too. Shocker. Like I really wanted to just focus on thyself leading up to this and then really make this my one thing today. I love that. So thank you so much for taking the time to hop on the show. I'm very excited to ask some questions because while I've gotten to know you through quick interactions, IRL and just backstage, on IG and other shows, right? I'd like to dig more into your journey leading up to Web3, and feel free to go as early as you'd like, even childhood. But what are your passions? What fuel you? Like, what was your career before your entry into crypto into 2017? I believe that was the year based off my research, right?
Yeah.
Like, what did life look like leading up to that? Love to hear about that.
Wow. So, I don't know if we can ever get too far away from who we were as a kid, right? Maybe we just wear clothes that are fit a little different and we have a few more days underneath our tires, if you will. So we have the opportunity to make hopefully better educated decisions along the way. But I noticed in your office, so this brings up a really good point. I think I started out, if I'm going to talk about my origin story, I realized very early on, I was a pattern-oriented girl, no matter what my age was. And even now, right? No matter how long I've kind of been on this earth, if you will, during this form, if we believe in, other forms of coming back and forth. I'm not sure. I don't hold any candle between, knowing if that is part of it. I believe in what we're doing right now, but coming up into how it all ties back in. So I might jump between childhood and now, but it all relates to staying close to a personal ethos if you know really who you are. I noticed in your office, you have behind your shoulder, behind your CryptoPunk, you have 5 of the Gary Vee books. His favorite number, I know there's 5. Again, this lets you know that as a child, I would do things where I would maybe count my steps. I would watch things. I would look for patterns. I would see patterns.
That's impressive.
I remembered people's telephone numbers. I did. I was like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. You are, of course, that's Gary's favorite number. Of course, you'd hold on to 5 of his books. I don't even want to ask you how many you bought because I think that's personal. You probably bought a bajillion and shared them with everybody you know.
Mm-hmm. Still have more. If anybody would like one, just leave a comment and I'll ship one to you.
Oh, I like that. So yeah, so that the book, the 12 and a half, it's great. It's really a great gift. It's a great reminder. Someone who likes to read personally in haiku. So the little chunks of wisdom that you can take. I really like that. So let's get back. So as a kid, I'm old enough to remember phones being on the wall where you had the, first there was the rotary dial. And then there was the pattern of the doot, 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 doot. So I would have remembered your telephone number by the pattern of how it would. I might not have even remembered the area code. Like I'm at that time, they didn't even have area codes. I don't think.
I don't think so, right?
No. So so I realized I started out as someone who was pattern oriented. And my dad was a real computer technician. His job was he would fix and build large computer data satellite systems. And sometimes he would take us with him to work. And some of the work that he had was top secret, if you will. He had been in the service, and he was now a civilian that was brought in on some of those type of, you could be a civilian, but you're working on projects because you have clearance. And one of my earliest memories was I said to my dad, we were in one of those trailers, and it was Bring Your Kid to Work Day. Why the government would let you bring your kid to work at that time? I guess there was really no regulations, right?
Right.
And I remember I said, Dad, I have to go to the bathroom. He says, okay, go ahead. And all of a sudden, one of his buddies goes, did you know your daughter just walked into the top secret room? And I just knew because I saw my dad put in the code of how you got into that room to where the bathroom was. That's where I saw the bathroom. So I just said, Dad, I'm going to the bathroom. I didn't know that me walking over and putting in a top secret code was going to send off a whole level of kerfuffle, which it did. And of course, by the time I was in the ladies' room, things start going off, and I'm a kid and I didn't know. And of course, my dad's part of him was like, he wanted to be so mad at me, like, because, it's work, right? You got to keep it all together as a guy. But he was so proud. Like, it was that like really mad proud. And he was like, that's my girl. She watched me. So, that was, and then there's one other thing that I like to bring up about watching and paying attention. Because I think I've been in our business as Web3, I really like being a voyeur and watching what other people do, deciding if that's a pattern for me. Does that fit into my personal ethos? And I got grounded one time from watching TV, for doing something, and grounding was not watching TV. And I went to go turn the TV on after watching it for a few days. No one was around. I thought I was being sneaky and getting away with it. And one day I came home, the TV didn't turn on. And I'm like, for a couple of days, I've been watching this in my grounding. How could the TV not turn on? And I went around the back of the TV and the plug was taken out. I'm like, oh, right? Really? All right. That's how you do, Dad? That's how you do. And I looked at it and I realized it was the same configuration plug as the blender plug in the kitchen. So I went into the kitchen, grabbed that plug, pulled it out, put it on the TV set. And for the rest of the week, I was watching Mr. Rogers and 3-2-1 Contact. I thought I was a big maca getting over on being grounded. So my dad comes into the bedroom and says, all right, 2 things. 1, I know you've been watching TV, so you're grounded for the rest of the month. If you don't tell me how you've been watching the TV, you're never watching TV again in my house as long as you live. And I go, why would you think that I'm still writing it, right? I'm still writing this, like, not really realizing what my personal ethos is yet. And I said, why would you think I'm watching TV? He goes, do you think I'm that dumb? The TV gets hot when you watch it. Every time I come home from work, the TV's hot. Of course, I wasn't paying attention to all of the, visuals. So I guess I'm my father's daughter. That was really my OG story of, how I started figuring things out. And Web3 is kind of no different. You figure it out along the way, and hopefully you have good people who guide you and call you out when you need to be called out.
I love that. Like, very resourceful, I would imagine, right? Like that was the word atop my list. It was like, wow, you're clever, resourceful. Like, you're always finding a way. And it's like, why would you want to punish you too? Because it's like, wow, you are really putting your mind to work at a young age. So it's like, I get that. That's so awesome. Thank you for sharing. Wow. If you don't mind me asking, do you have your personal ethos defined in such a way where you can share it in, I don't want to use the word elevator pitch, but in that type of scenario, 30 seconds or less? Yeah.
For me, right now, my personal ethos is, I have to be involved in projects that elevate women's voices. That works for me. And I also really find a passion for entertaining, educating, informing, and hopefully inspiring underserved communities. And underserved communities don't have to fall into something that's socioeconomic, or even though I've mentioned elevating women's voices, something that's gender-based. It could be generational. As someone who certainly has been lucky enough to spend enough time on Earth, I'm starting to feel the effects of ageism, not only, personally as certain things as we see ourselves, but out there in the business world. You can't help but see that people might consider maybe paying you less if you're older, or maybe if you've been out of the workforce that you're being paid less. So the idea of an underserved community might be someone who has maybe during the pandemic, just as recently as that, decided to take their retirement in a time when they normally would have, or in theory they were going to, but they're still relevant and maybe wanted to work until their 70s, but the pandemic forced them to quit and or phase out the business that they were in, and or jump into really being part of children's projects. So if I'm going to talk about one end of the spectrum, it's important that I do the other for being underserved. So I think underserved falls into potential gender, generational, socioeconomic, could be geographic, could be ethnic. You know, what type of community really needs that hand up, if you will, and what can we do? So in Web3, see, this is how I realized I was the kid who always stuck up for the guy or gal who was being bullied on the playground. Or if a teacher was maybe playing favorites, that I would, in a nice way, help, you know, the teacher understand that we are a whole classroom. And, you know, maybe Susie does have something a little more than the others, but there is maybe John in the back room, or the back of the room, who's more quiet, maybe because he just didn't know how to step up and present something or raise his hand because he felt shy. And I feel like in Web3, what it does is it really dissolves this barrier to either entry, but it also dissolves, let's say currently, the pay gap. As a woman, if we go into the corporate or industrial world, we are generally paid, if we have the exact same education, we're doing the exact same hours, we have the exact same title for the job, and we're doing the exact same job, we get paid 82 cents on the dollar compared to men. If you're out of work for a while, you're paid less. If you're a mom and you have a family, you're paid even less. If you're a woman of an ethnicity, you're paid less. So in Web3, you didn't ask me my age. You like me because I'm Julie. I like you because this is BitMonkey Studio. Come on. We are so blessed to be here with each other. We didn't ask about barriers. We showed up.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, wow. That's beautiful. That's powerful. So I'd like to expand really quickly. I pulled this, and I hope I'm not squirreling too much.
Oh, squirrel.
Yeah, you went from couch surfing to hosting your other couches, or hosting others to I don't know how to phrase this, but I heard you say this once.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, like, what's the most life-changing couch that you've stayed on? Do you remember? Like, maybe it wasn't necessarily the couch, right? But it was something that happened while you were staying at that place.
Well, some of the things, this might not be ready for prime time. You know?
I did mark not friendly for kids, so
okay.
It won't show up on kids' timeline.
Exactly. Like, all right, parents, just know this might not. So I'll throw things in that might seem like they're curveballs, but just go with them. I am a musician by trade. That is what I studied in school. It's what I love to do. I sing and I play percussion. I still do to this day. I've toured with big acts. I've had my own. I've recorded. I've built recording studios. I'm not saying this in anything other than giving you little benchmarks along the way to fill in this. So when it comes to being a musician and being in a band, you're going to be on the road. If you're certainly starting in bootstrapping, you're going to be with a band with all your equipment, your Marshall amps and your guitar things, and you know, my percussion gear and your extra microphones and your cords. And you don't have a lot of money to stay in hotels, certainly not high-end hotels. Maybe the kind of money you have to stay in is 1 room or 2 rooms if you're separated out by gender. If we were in the band that had girls and guys, we would have to back the truck up to one of the doors that went out into the parking lot, because if you leave your equipment in your van overnight, it could get stolen. And you know, at the end of a long gig, you're not always going to want to bring all of those heavy Marshall stack amps and the bass rigs into each one of your hotel rooms. Then you wouldn't be able to go to the bathroom because it's only a step away. So sometimes we would sleep in fans' houses, right? Because maybe we just fill in the blank. Maybe one of the guys had a girlfriend with them or whatever, and so the room was taken. So I remember there was one time we were invited to come stay over at a fan's house, and we were exhausted from playing just back-to-back gigs on the road. And I remember we fell asleep on the couch, me and the other backup singer, and there we were sleeping, but they decided to have a party because now they had like these 2 local rock star girls in their house, and we were exhausted. We literally passed out on the couch, but then moved ourselves to the floor because they're apartment was so small, so they could have the couch to sit on. And we pulled the covers over our head. And the whole party, we were asleep, passed out we didn't do anything. We were just totally exhausted. And of course, I'm sure they were having a great time, but I think they were a little confused why the rock and roll girls were asleep under the covers on the floor. That was probably
recharge, at some point.
Yeah, that was like when I go back and I think about it, I'm like that was I don't know that we would have had the energy to have stayed up, and we were gassed.
And it's good to listen to your body, and know when it's time to. It seems like you've been very self-disciplined throughout life in that front, right? Not only clever and resourceful. Now, I didn't want to shy away from your personal ethos in that conversation. I do want to actually squirrel back on over, because part of a few things I wrote up to ask you were around educating the masses, helping. And now it wasn't specific to underprivileged or forgive me, what was the term exactly?
Underserved.
Okay, underserved. I knew I was incorrect on the way I said that. I think this falls like parallel with what we're trying to do here. I'm trying to do the same. So I have a feeling that we can spark a conversation right now live that would not only inspire others, but inspire us to create other content around how do we make this possible? Because one strength I've noticed throughout my life is if I know something very well, I can explain it to anybody, even a kid, right? My days as an IT service, just IT nut, IT nerd, like IT everything, network engineer, I can explain all of that as if, it doesn't matter if they're older or younger, right? I'm feeling very similar with playing my role in mass adoption. And I wanted to ask, what do you think is going to pull this off? Do you think it's around more content creators creating different pieces of content that cater or resonate to different generations, or maybe even different hosts from different generations playing their part and explaining and creating all these different versions of trying to explain the same thing? Because I think that's the biggest bottleneck, right? A lot of people are scared, so they're kind of shying away until 5 more years come, and it's kind of like forced upon them.
Yeah,
I know I kind of just rambled on there, but that's something I'm very passionate about as well.
I think that you're onto something. I mean, how do you scale, right? That's the biggest question. This is as we go along in the Web 2 world, and we're really kind of Web 2.5 right now, going into Web 3 world. And we meet people along the way that are journeymen or journey women or journey persons. And Ragsy, one of the artists, she is a Lego artist, and she's very colorful. She loves wearing blue lips. She loves wearing very big, bright, bold, studded shirts. And she is brilliant with her art. And she was just recently interviewed and talking about how in the Web 2 world, your big brands could be famous and popular just because they were, and people came to them because they were the brand. Where in the Web 3 world, it's shifted. Could you be successful if you're a big brand? The potential is, of course, there because you perhaps already have an audience, but it doesn't guarantee success. Where the creators are the ones, if you're creating, when the community comes, and these words sometimes are overused, but the truth is, if you do have someone who comes to your gig, I go back to being in a band. If someone comes and we pack the house, that's the community that's come in. And I know I'm going to rock. I'm going to rock from the energy from the audience. They're going to get off on the energy that I'm giving them. And it becomes this symbiotic breath because we've come to a collective consciousness in this one space to share in that moment. If we want to talk about mass adoption for Web3, it's really important that we always start from, let's just say, the ground up. Creators curating content and putting it out there, just like this show, being able to cut it up and share it across different mediums. For me, let's bring in my personal ethos, elevating women's voices and helping inspire, inform, educate underserved communities. If I'm going to be working consistently with women, then the kind of content to create, if I really want to be a part of the mass adoption, it's going to be topic that women are interested in. And this is a general blanket statement. I might not fall into all of them because I'm more of a tech nerd, but women, we do like fashion. We do like to listen about finances. I mean, we're about 85% of the buying population. And when it comes to getting venture capital for our businesses, women CEOs only get about 2.7% of the opportunities that men do when it comes to investments coming in for their businesses. But women also they like talking about family. They really enjoy engaging with other women with health and wellness and beauty. And not only women, but we have man-ambassadors, which you are, that support these communities that are bubbling up in Web3 that do talk about fashion, finance, family, purpose, wellness, health, the things that really interest us. When we can put those types of businesses that content is created around and make it easy and not scary. You did bring up that point where, you hear about, oh, stay away, creepers. Back in the day when we were kids, it was maybe the guy with the dog in the van and don't take a piece of candy from someone you don't know. The boogeyman's out there. And realistically, there are bad people that are out there that want to get you around every corner. You just have to be smart about it and engage in that group of people that you now trust. I know I can ring you in any social media, and within a reasonable amount of time, you're going to respond back. You're going to give me your personal experience. You're maybe going to say, Julie, that doesn't really pass the smell test too much. And then I might look a little deeper. So it's going to allow me to do that DYOR, do your own research. Yeah. So for me, if I'm going to continue to scale, if I go too heavy in someone who's older, like I mentioned, it's really important for me to bring people who have retired, who maybe still have a good amount of disposable income, and understanding that Web3 is a way that they can talk to their grandchildren is a big deal. Because, how many years have we heard friends, oh, Johnny's at the restaurant, all he's ever on is on his iPad and he never looks up. Well, what if Johnny, this holiday season, bought grandma an NFT and said, Grandma, this NFT, I know it looks a little funny and you might not understand it, but they're coming out with a really cool TV show or a mini episode. And let me show you what it looks like. And they're able to show their grandma what that NFT that they bought them is now in an episode. And all of a sudden that dialogue in the family is started, and it's not making families pull apart or disengage. It's actually engaging families to talk around the holiday table about something that couldn't. Now, oh, well, Grandma, you like that? But look, I got you something and it has some really good properties in it. And I got it for this and now it's for that. Would you consider selling it? You're going to make a profit. Would you like? Now the conversation has started. Well, Grandma, I bought that for you. And that project, I didn't realize it at the time. It doesn't really have any IP. What if like Johnny's only 10? Grandma's like, what's IP? Well, it's intellectual property, Grandma. And there's really nothing that you can do with that. But I found this other project and I think you would like it. And it's going to allow you to use it maybe at your Mahjong games or on t-shirts, or maybe you can actually use this image or this product in a type of product that you want to do. And the family creates something out of that actual NFT because they have access to having IP rights. So the idea of Web3, again, closes a lot of gaps because you don't have barriers to entry. And there's companies that are out there that make it really simple, like the company POAP, your proof of attendance protocol, which if you go to an event or you show up and that person or entity has created a POAP and you have an Ethereum wallet, one can get dropped to you really easy. And then it's almost like those scout badges that you had if you were in the Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts. When you did a task, you received a badge, and you can collect them along the way. You can trade them, you can sell them. And there are big institutions that are using this free service to actually start the conversation with people. It's not scary. You're being rewarded for showing up, and you get a chance to collect and come back and have a visceral emotional reaction to that moment in time. And now you're connected, and you're connected through NFTs. So I think that the conversation is just starting. Your personal ethos is you love to educate. That's why you have this show. You are going to chop it up into bits and you'll share it across the interwebs, wherever that might happen to go and be and live on in perpetuity. And you'll be able to keep coming back. I think we have to circle back always to the beginning. Always.
So yeah, and thank you for mentioning that. Like one of many goals here with BitmonkeyTV is to build this Web3 wiki. Now I know it's not going to happen overnight, and I love this conversation so much because I've been strategizing on different pieces of content, different ways to explain the information. And you honestly just gave me, I'd love your feedback on this. My sister is probably the person I could teach, not the easiest, but I could teach, but also document and possibly share the process of teaching her, of onboarding her and creating future funds for her children, right? Her baby boys. And showing the power to elderly, right? I've always had this thought. So this is kind of like a two-part, to create a decentralized will, right? So any elderly could essentially, you know, the technicality of it will need to be sorted out. But, let's say they want to leave their inheritance to somebody, but they don't want to trust an attorney or somebody to manipulate or take something along the way. Building a DApp for, will and testimonies, I think is something that we're going to see. Right. And it's kind of something I want to create. I just don't have the time. Right. But this is something that's very meaningful to me because I believe this technology is here to stay. And I'm trying to find ways to help educate others through experience, right? Through showing the process rather than just a slide, even though sometimes a slide is more helpful.
Yeah, I think as things change so quickly in our Web3 space. And, we have to take into consideration that even though that's shifting and moving at such a rapid pace, that there are many people who might not learn at such a quick speed. So how do we bring it in and dial it in and be able to share things with them? You bring up a really good point about wills or trusts. And again, I'm not an expert. This is not financial advice, but I do again, we're going to go back to watching patterns. Recently in California, there was legislation that was just passed that I believe it's birth records and marriage licenses are going to be able to be on the blockchain. So if this opens up, this opens up a conversation about what you mentioning, perhaps wills or a trust or some type of a documentation that can live and can't be changed, because we're going to go back. A number of people on the show certainly know what an NFT is. And it's important for us to share that not fungible or copyable token and it living on the blockchain, knowing that maybe this can be used. And currently there's institutions that are starting to deploy this on titling for homes. And, that the title for a home, there's a big middleman business when you're doing a home. It's only documentation, right? For the title for your home. So, knowing that things are going to be streamlined. Well, how does this work for me and you? So we go, let's say we meet up, or we happen to be somewhere really cool, like the next VCon conference, and we want to go to Starbucks. Recently, Starbucks just released the announcement, their loyalty program, which is called a stamp. It's actually, you guys, an NFT, it's basically an NFT. So their loyalty program is being run through the blockchain, which allows them to streamline their business and allows them hopefully to focus on, in my opinion, being able to make a nice cup of coffee if you like to go to Starbucks and share it. Yeah. And then each time you show up, you can be rewarded for that. And it takes away some of the, I guess what you would say, they might have had a large group of people that were part of their loyalty program. Now, mind you, I also like to go again, what's the opposite side of that spectrum? If they're removing some people and they're streamlining it, making it an easier use for the company, where are they then going to be deploying those people that might have been outsourced in that area? It would be fabulous if they were able to deploy them either in the stores or perhaps where they get their coffee or for marketing or outreach, and really those funds that they're saving, be able to put them back into the communities of the folks that are coming and spending their money on coffee.
I love that. And it gives, hopefully they're thinking this way, it gives them unlimited room to add utility, to say, hey, what we'd like to do is reward the consistent one-a-days, right? If you get a coffee every day out of the month, you're rewarded with an airdrop of something, or maybe your membership or loyalty program moves up to a new tier or a special tier, right? Like the Die Hard tier or something. So, right, and I love to see Starbucks making that leap in a bear market, right? That news, I believe, came out a few weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
And I love seeing things like this because this is slowly it's forcing people to actually say, okay, I can't ignore this now. Starbucks is adopting this technology. Maybe I should start learning, right? So that also gives an idea for content creators to target interest in Starbucks and curious on, Web3 NFT terms, right? And say, hey, if you drink coffee, have Starbucks, apparel and stuff, all just be strategic with your marketing and placement of items, right? So I don't know. There's a lot of room for educating people based off of what these big brands are doing, right? Because if you're a fan of that big brand, you can help.
Well, and also too, you still need people to go into your businesses, those brick and mortar businesses, and make them work. So, we might be able to do I have a company that I created called NFT VIP, and we set up pre-game events before large conferences. We created a token gated access where if you got one of our NFTs, you were able to go into either some of the levels, if you had a certain level of NFT, or other levels are super high level, depending on what those NFTs were. And we had 900 attendees at Margaritaville this year. And going forward, we're doing an event next week in Las Vegas. It's called WebX. It's an investors conference. And what this leads me to saying is rising tides raise all ships. So if we can get to a point where we are with the NFT VIP token gated access for super high-end luxury events or educational situations where I can reach out to those communities that I know would like to be able to have access to be able to come in. And guess what? Maybe if they happen to hold our token in the wallet, it's recognized by Starbucks. So they're able to go into any town and get a free cup of coffee and be able to meet their friends and make that happen. Now let's talk about bringing that community that's been created in New York City on the road. Each one of those 900 people who hold tokens, they travel. They've obviously traveled to come to New York City, might have only been the subway. But I know when they travel, they like to stay in hotels. So what if they're able to work at, allow that NFT to work for them at one of the places they like to stay, like maybe a Marriott or a Hilton, and their rewards programs allow them to get either a certain percentage off or a free night stay because they're somewhere. These are ways that we all can, again, those rising tides raise all ships, allows us to be able to, as a community, say, all right, as creatives, and we're going to go out, we're still going to use this Web 2 world. I still like to have my Starbucks and stay at my Marriotts or my Hiltons and, or any other type of, project or product. I'm just happen to bring those up because they're rewards programs that I like using and that I know that I like being rewarded because a lot of my friends like to meet me in those places when I'm on the road. We'll meet in the lobby of the hotel, like during VCon this past year. We, a lot of us, met in the hotel lobbies and strategized about our businesses that were created because we came into the VFriends community with all of this fire to collect, support, and build. And then we got walloped by the bear market. Now, the bear market certainly changed some of the dynamics, and that can crush your soul a little bit for sure. Does it really change who you are? If you're someone who is willing to meet your friends in a Starbucks or sit in a hotel lobby and strategize about your business, it's not going to matter if it's a bear or bull market. You're going to always do that. That's just who you are.
I love that you brought this up and mentioned NFT VIP and bear market here. So for me, personally, it's just another year where things aren't, I don't want to say things aren't going well, but things aren't going bad. I think we've seen worse, right? So it's a matter of having that mindset of just trucking along, right? And keep grinding, just making sure that you're enjoying what you're doing, right? Because if you're grinding through this bear market, but you have no passion or enjoyment or purpose behind what you're doing, well, chances are you'll veer off and go another direction, right? So I love to see that you're still here and building. I'd like to talk on NFT VIP. To me, it seems like you're playing your part in helping educate a particular audience, right, of people who are interested in these types of conferences, right? More, correct me if I'm wrong, business focused.
In a theory, right? I mean, it's got to be infotainment, right? You got to have a little fun because, unless you're choosing to go to school and unless it's some kind of continuing like legal or medical type of education, which we've played around with the opportunity of doing that or bringing in, we did a job fair with this last conference that we put on, and we were able to help a number of people find jobs in the industry and
That's
just
awesome.
fringes of the industry. So I think it's really important for us to pay attention to that. So, we can, again, how are we going to, serve sometimes maybe the frame of the situation? And I know that with NFT VIP, we had a lot of fun. It was 2 full days of panels, education, parties, live music. And at the end, people walked away meeting that next person who could maybe be their developer, or somebody like guests coming on your show or on my show, or a number of our other colleagues who have started their own shows since then, either in these forums like YouTube or Instagram or, any other platform or Twitter Spaces, knowing that people are using these tools to just step in, see if it works for them. Will they have the tenacity to stick around? We don't know, right? I would rather see somebody do something for a certain amount of time and say, wow, that was really cool. I liked it. We moved the needle. Now I know that my energies and efforts could really be used in this, like, kind of like this direction. And so I'm going to actually keep moving. I'm going to keep moving and I'm going to shift focus, but I'm going to stay and I'm going to make a little bit of an adjustment and I'm going to keep moving forward and making that happen. So we deployed that type of thinking with NFT VIP. And we went, for us, 900 people was big. And so we decided to pull in and until the end of the year, do more smaller granular events like the WebEx Investors Conference. We are producing a couple of small events and participating on a smaller level, 30, 40 people. And then the next event after that, we're doing a number of events during Basel in Miami, which happens at the beginning of December. And we're releasing a new token through our marketplace that we've been building. And that new token will allow for access to VIP events like book signing parties, pool parties. We even tested doing a pool party in collaboration with World of Women. And it was super successful. We had about 40 people come. And it was a disco DJ pool party. And if you held the World of Women token, you got to come to this party. And it was super fun that we were able to collaborate with another really big blue check project and reward people who were holding the tokens by enjoying each other's company. And what a better way to have a good time, right?
I love that. And right, it's all about connection, community, right? Like a lot of the power in this technology is this kind of like paralleled access to one another, right? To people in all different types of industries and skill sets as well, all in one place, willing to communicate, willing to say hi, how you doing in most cases, right? I know always be wary of random DMs, but like if you meet somebody IRL, chances are it's going to be a little bit different, right?
Yeah, well, it can be, it can be different, or it can be, you can, if you show up every day who you are, like if you want to be a scam artist, is it a long con? Is it a short con? You're eventually going to get, you're going to be found out. That's not my play. So it just wouldn't be for me. That's just not what I would want to do. So for me, I want to go to bed that night and, wake up the next morning and still be the same person. I might not always be in the best mood. I might be a little stressed out. I might not always be the most gregarious, happy, outgoing. I might be a little more introverted and, again, kind of watching the situation as it comes. But I think it's really important for us to know that in the space that we're in, if we have good mentors, if we are also a good mentor, like we've talked about, that education part of it, and bringing in people who are older or younger. We have just announced a partnership with, we've created an NFT VIP Youth Division, and our marketplace and token gated access. And spearheading the Youth Division is our family members from NFT Kids magazine, Claire and her son Jamaiden. They are spearheading it, and we are bringing in a couple of other projects. We have a TV show that is helping educate and inform in a super fun kind of like If you remember back in the day, cartoons where the girls got together, they were in a band, and it helped young girls understand that science and coding is pretty cool, getting them involved. And then I've created a project myself that is a pop-up book with an NFT that if you own it, you can actually program in that child's name and their age and where they are developmentally with the book. So the parents pull the book down from the shelf, pop it open, and the character pops up, says your child's name, and then maybe a year later you pull that book down, or maybe it's their birthday, and again the entity pops up out of the book, and the parents and the grandparents only have one book, but it grows with the child and makes it happen. So this whole youth division allows us to again know that we can actually reinvest in the future through, I mean, NFT Kids magazine, they just released their 3rd issue online. They're also coming out with their own,
that's amazing,
pushing publications forward. So I don't want to say too much of what they're doing, because they're going to be announcing some things that are pretty cool and pretty cool, continually cool, but and engaging members within the kids community and families in really bringing kids into learning, sharing, and connecting no matter where they are in the world. And so to me, it's very important to stay in that. How can we use these new tools that allow us to not have this barrier to entry? But if someone does have perhaps this gated access, that they get the access to being a part of something, but maybe, if they wanted to go on to either the next level or that super VIP party that we're having like next week, our super VIPs are allowed to come and attend and do that. So it allows us as businesses to then give back, if we want to the community at large, which I choose to. I have a couple of institutions that I like donating to. I really like Dress for Success. It is an institution that they help women get back on their feet, give them clothing for interviews and work job, their time at work. And besides that, it teaches them about resume building, confidence, how they can be educated. So really only 10% of Dress for Success has to do with clothing, a woman who comes in to the institution. And then one of my favorites is it's a project that I work with. It's called 2B3D, which is a metaverse that's built around and helping veterans in support of them not having PTSD and having them meet in the metaverse with lights and sounds. So again, if I'm working with women, I always do like working, with men, because I just feel like I like the balance of knowing that, if my plate's going to be full, I want to be able to fill it with things that bring me joy. So.
Of course. Wow. Thank you. With NFT VIP, like as a community, I also want to be mindful of time. Coming up on 45 minutes. Solid. Time has flown by. I would have guessed like 30 minutes here. What can we do to help NFT VIP help voice, help bring awareness? Like what can we do as a community, and then us here at BitmonkeyTV? Because I'd like to help, and I'd like to hear it from you. And I'm sure that other people in the audience or watching this recording will be curious on this question.
I think help changes on a daily basis, right? It could be as simple as, showing up, or at least showing up to say, hey, I'm available during that time. Do you need an extra set of hands? And what would you like an extra set of hands doing? And I might need somebody to help run a stage, right? If we're doing a big event, and maybe it's just not something you've ever done before, but I know you have this passion in you that you would be really, that would be that you're super strong, and that you could fill that job or that role. And then you would be able to work alongside with people who have worked with the Emmys, the Tonys, the Grammys, really having that experience. Or maybe you really want to organize, and you want to strategize, and you want to learn how to perhaps be able to have good conversations in press and write press releases. We're always looking for people to come in and help us intern in social media, and across the board, from social media to press to on-site coordination. Those are things that we always need an extra set of hands to help. And when you come and help, a lot of times it springboards the next thing. Like our friend, Tim Livingston, who has the project VectorBots.
Yes.
He was a teacher at school, and at NFT NYC, I was one of the event organizers for that. I needed somebody really strong to come in and help organize with our volunteers and stages. And he was on the edge of like maybe quitting being a teacher. And I said, just maybe you can take some time off and come check it out. Not only did he take time off, he actually chose to end that portion of his career. And he came to New York City, and now he's actually working for NFT NYC full time. And he still has vector bots, and he just helped produce the New York conference. And now he's doing it in London. And our friend Tyler Berman from VFriends, he had originally gotten a token from our friend Droshik, VFriends token, came in and then applied to be an intern with VFriends, and now he's part of the VFriends team. So sometimes when you step up and you say, hey, how can I help? And you do, it leads to that next thing. And again, I go back, those rising tides raise all ships. How awesome is our community?
I gotta say, I couldn't agree more, right? We're seeing things develop, and we're going to see so much more of that in the coming months and years, I believe, not only with these big blue chip or big names, but also people that we know who have helped build the next maybe decentralized Google. You never know. Like, we're seeing it all happen real time. And I'll keep that in mind. Like, you're absolutely right. Like, what I'm doing here with BitmonkeyTV is interesting. It's like a full circle moment since I retired from being a computer network engineer. I went down that path because at the time when I formed this brand, this name, this logo you see, it was actually for going around the world and holding seminars and talking about Bitcoin, teaching people about Bitcoin. But my small focus group of friends and family told me I was nuts, and I was convinced I was nuts. So I didn't pursue that. I went down a path of, what are my strengths? What do I know best? Okay, that's hardware, software, networking, so on a small scale. And then I built off of that for a decade. Lost my dog, realized I'm unhappy, right? And now I've shifted into this show birthed from all of this. And I really didn't know what I was doing at first, but it's all around educating the masses about crypto and Web3 in general, right? And that allows me to do a lot of different things in the space. And I'm here to help, like, as best I can. That's why I ask this question as often as I can. So like, DMs are always open. I'm shocked I don't have your number. I haven't given you my number yet. So I'll send that over. That way you can text me anytime you have a question or need some help.
Let's be honest. Does it matter if I have your telephone number? You can share it if you want to with me. I'm happy to keep it in my Rolodex. But how we connect. We DMs. Always connect. We're in DMs. I use my Instagram.
These platforms are amazing.
Just I use it like my phone. I do. I make phone calls to Clara in Seoul, South Korea. That's how we do it on Instagram through our Instagram video conferencing. It's so easy to stay connected with people. You just make sure you just. One thing, the newest thing from scams that are out there, like, check the spelling of the names, you guys. If it has 2 consonants, 2 whatever, if you're not sure, send that person a DM and say, did you ask me if I wanted to trade some Binance, fill in the blank, some Forex trading or whatever,
right.
Check to see if it is and ask somebody and, check in with us. And, there's a couple of scams that are around. They try to use my name and they throw a couple of vowels in and, block and report. You do that kind of stuff. And, just don't click on any links. But and another big scam is that goes around, if you get this email that, especially if you're a curator, copyright infringement, Instagram is going to take your stuff down because you used a song that shouldn't have been. So click on this to get back into your link. Guess what? Go back to your Instagram or whatever platform you have. And if it's still working, that's a scam email. Check the email out. Where did it come from? You don't have to click any links that are in there. We try to keep ourselves as safe as possible so the boogeyman isn't out there, or the boogie woman or the boogie person, right?
Right.
Trying to get us. So
those are great tips. Thank you. No, definitely. I couldn't agree more on that front. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I have something kind of exciting also. Besides, NFT VIP, we've been partnering with a few brands. We partnered up with a brand called Digital Distro, which is Web3 Realized. And I see back behind you in your office, you have these cubes with the Spalding ball and you really do like your sports, and we have partnered up with Infinite Marketplace, and we have just picked up a LeBron James jersey and sneakers from Michael Jordan, both worn during championship games, and we're making them into NFTs and fractionalizing ownership. It is so exciting. So now NFT VIP, I know. So I could blow your mind. We could talk forever. So now we have fun in real life educational experiences, super high end luxury token gated VIP access, this inspirational, reaching, through the, through the interwebs or through all these portals to be able to reach people who it's nice to be able to have a hand out that can pull you over and along into the space, and know that we can teach others how to build a smart contract. Like our friends at JDM Studios, we're partnering with them. They help people build smart contracts. We had them come to NFT VIP. Mikey, he's part of our VFriends community. And he with his partners, Miss Carrie, they announced a partnership with Magic Johnson, and they're building a Magic Johnson metaverse that they've just announced. I think that they've launched it. So, this is our community, you guys. This is what's happening. And these are all friends and family members that are not only doing right now, what they're meant to be doing. I don't know if you would have asked me a year ago when we were all applying for that Sorcerer Scholarship in VFriends, if I actually would be having an event that has, Mark Cuban from Shark Tank at Miami NFT Week as a speaker, or being able to work with other speakers. When we're watching TV, we see certain celebrities, and now I'm working closely with people asking me in these worlds, how do we bring our business into Web3? And then I'm going to call friends like you or other friends who are actually building and say, I think this is someone really cool and we can make this happen. And, our friend Kidjet, he brought up a good point, and he loves to say net weaving instead of networking. So you're not only walking up to a group of people and saying, oh, well, I'm Julie and I do this, and what can you do for me? Or it's more, hey, this is my friend Julie, and Julie, meet my friend Joe, and Joe, this is my friend Joanne. And I think that we all, you guys might have something really cool to be able to talk about. Let me know what comes out of this cool conversation. It really, I know this Web3 business really allows us to break down barriers that have been in place for a long time, and we get to shift the narrative.
And I love that difference between networking and net weaving. Networking doesn't sound as when you break apart the word, it's like work. Am I working this person? What? No. If anything, I want to weave and see how we can bring our strengths and experiences and connections and weave them. Right? I love that. That just blew my mind. That's why I had to take a moment to expand on that.
Yeah. I love our community. I'm even, I mentioned to you in the beginning, our friends from Dinosaur butt feet.
Yes. I'm curious on the shirt there. I kind of see it in the corner there.
See it?
I love that. Can you kind of expand on this here?
So if you're a VFriends fan, you know of one of the characters called the very, 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 very lucky black cat. Well, this is Dinosaur butt feet's version of that. An homage to that. This is the very, 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 very unlucky white dog with an anvil coming to hit him on the head, with that look on his face of sheer utter terror.
I'm a huge dog person, so when I put together that's an anvil dropping on the dog probably thinks it's a fluffy animal. Oh, I really love that. Do you have any links to provide? So I'll make sure when we repost this interview that everything you were talking about, we'll provide those on-screen links and really easy visuals for everybody to follow along. Is there a particular Twitter account that we can follow?
Well, this that's underneath my name here happens to be my Instagram page, because it's easy to remember. It's the similar sounding, where you can post the actual spelling of it in Twitter, is How To with Julie Sue also, but it's HOW, the number 2, WITHJULIESU. No E.
Okay.
So we'll send that over. Listen, you guys, it'll be in the notes if you're watching this again. If you know me, you can click in, drop into my DMs. I will always tell you the other places to go to. And I can lead you to the links to VIP. We really love working with sponsors, and we love working on sponsorship levels because it is a bootstrapped organization. And we work with sponsors, small and large. So it's very important for us to engage within the community to bring your new project. So if you were interested in, launching something new and you knew you wanted to go to a marketplace, or let's say you had this idea for a conference and you said, I have a great idea for a conference, Julie. I want to be able to provide a better ticketing solution. Our backend NFT ticketing solution is very streamlined, super easy. We create an NFT for you. You can either people can enter through a QR code, and we've just added facial recognition so people can see as you come in. So now you don't have to check government IDs or have it if somebody wants to be doxxed. I believe in being doxxed. I just, I might have, again, you might have not have my personal telephone number, but you can actually reach out to me on Instagram and I'm going to respond to you. I say this cautiously. If you are a creeper, you will be blocked. I don't do creepers.
Yes. Across the board, right? Like,
No.
right? No. I'd like to give you the floor. I know we kind of just chatted on your kind of following accounts, but I'd love to give you the floor to shill, to share, to spotlight, anything you'd like to spotlight. And then I'd like to ask you 7 questions that I always do at the end of all the interviews to get to know more about you and have the audience learn more about you as well. And forgive me, this episode, I usually play from the get. Peg, let's shout out Peg.
Peg!
Thank you for tuning in. You rock, Sam Jacks. I'm usually very mindful of playing off the audience, and our conversation was so awesome. I don't know. I was focused on the conversation more than I was the comments, which happens, right?
It does.
What's up, Dream?
They're in there. Look at Zen Rasta. Of course, Zen Rasta puts a nice Rasta set of hearts that are up there. I think,
love
and
it.
Peg is, Peg, Peg is she's a little bit of my ride or die. She's been my #1 girl, kind of out there. She was one of the first interviews on How To with Julie Sue. Because she holds a World of Women, she was someone who was able to come to the disco pool party and documented it. And we had a contest for the video of like the best experience at the pool party, and she put it together. A number of people did, and she beat out Sakari's video. And Sakari is a member in our community who created. He has a World of Women. He made a green juice. He is a chef. He was one of the Sorcerer Scholarship winners. He created a video. It was awesome. But through voting and through the community, Pegs won, and she won a replicator, which allowed her then some more fun activity and utility for her World of Women token. So it was fun being able to be a part of that. So hi, Peg. Great shout out to you for showing up here.
Yes. Thank you for being here. And my light totally, look how dark it is for me. It totally just went off on me. It was working off battery today. So yeah, is there anything you'd like to spotlight? Maybe any particular links, or kind of like a message for the audience before we get into the closing questions?
Yeah. Dream big.
Ooh.
To you, it's going to be okay. Tell yourself that. Tell yourself it's going to be okay. I had my good friend Christy remind me was it today or yesterday? The days are kind of growing together right now because I have an event coming up starting Monday, so I'm a little an event head.
Right.
She reminded me to breathe. I'm not too far into event head that I couldn't hear her say that, so I went, okay, I guess I do need to breathe. So remember to breathe. It's going to be okay. Dream big. Don't let anything stand in your way of stopping you to dream. But remember, stay true to yourself. And, if you don't know who you are, be kind to yourself and keep figuring it out along the way.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. All right. Without squirrel ado, I mean, as much I'd love to keep jamming, and I know we can probably jam for hours. But I'd love to get into the closing questions for you. That way, if you need to take off and it's a backstop, we can call it at an hour, and then we'll continue the Good Morning HODLer show. So this is my favorite. So just to give you a quick TLDR, if you hear two words, just pick the first one that comes to mind. It's supposed to be like an instant reaction type thing. And then there'll be some questions where you can go as in-depth as you'd like. It'll be me generally saying, you know, can you say one thing, or can you say two things, or what does this mean to you? You can answer as in-depth as you'd like and take as much time as you'd like, you know. So without squirrel ado, do you have any questions before we get started?
No, I feel like I should like just do jumping jacks or something, maybe get myself going, you know, run around the block and come back in, and I'm pumped. Okay.
I love it. And
Hang
like,
on.
shout out to community, right? So I just have to shout out Austin at One Blue Land, which is a NFT based. Well, he started this comic and this brand far before he made his entry into NFTs, but they teach the masses, you know, oh, my window just closed, forgive me, on like financial education, right? Financial literacy. And he was on the show, one of the first guests on BitmonkeyTV, and he suggested, he's like, hey, did you ever think about doing some outro questions, get to know the guests a little better, do a little speed round, a little vibe going? And I was like,
Okay.
I'll try that out. And like, that's what this show has, like, over time, it's been tips from the audience. Like, hey, have you thought about doing this? No, let me try. You know what I mean? And going back to what you said for everybody right now, just breathe. I love that. Just breathe. Keep trying different things. If you don't feel like you're in the right place, you don't have to force it, you know, but you don't have to disregard all of it, right? You can keep trying different things before you choose to just wash it away. Give me 1 second. My iPad just died on me, and that's where my script was with the questions.
Oh,
So
that's okay. It'll come back up, or you'll rip them off your head, because that works out.
I'll whip it up real quick. Well, yeah, the last three questions are generally the same, but all right. Without squirrel ado, because we do squirrel around here. I love it. Number one, what's one tip you have for women taking their first step into Web3, whether that's through action or through research or through learnings? What's that first tip you would
have? A good mentor. Have that one person that you can call, that's going to call you on your BS, that's going to keep you from FOMO, and then you're going to continue on. But besides that, you're going to want to do your own research, but have that one person you can call. You need to have someone. You need to have your call a friend. I
love that, right? Now, would you recommend this be somebody they personally know, or just anybody that they could work in? Because it's hard. Like let's say you don't have an IRL friend to confide in, right? Because a lot of us don't, or a lot of us don't have the friend in the tech. What approach would you recommend in that case, right? Would it be the same?
You know, if you're involved in communities, if you're going on Twitter Spaces, if you're like this channel, anybody who made comments in this channel, I'm sure if you called them out, meaning that you said hello and you had this feeling of, you know, they're good people, right? You know, you can connect to those people that are making a comment here. I mean, maybe not all of them, you know, but, you know, it sounds like you certainly have an affinity towards people who come in and make comments on your page. So create community. In this case, you know, you're here, people are following you, following me. Somebody can drop into your DMs. You know, they at least know right now I'm, you know, I'll take number 2 friend. You're no number 1 friend. I'll take number 2. So if you're watching this, you now have at least 2 friends. As close to in real life as being in your living room. I mean, we've come to you as, you know, when you're picking this up and watching it. And just know that you can drop into our DMs, and, you know, if you have a question, and honestly, if we can't answer the question, we're going to lead you to somebody who can. And that person, you know, hopefully has the ability to, you know, help you understand really in really a deep way, if it's something that we can't answer for you.
Love it. Awesome. Thank you for kind of expanding on that. And I know that was a 2-part question number 1. Question 2, what's your favorite genre of music? Is there a favorite genre? Do you have a mix, multiple?
Anything that makes me feel.
Ooh.
So I'm not gonna lie. I like a good beat, right? You know, it doesn't have to be fast. It doesn't have to be fast. It doesn't have to be slow. You know, I mean, you know, I get a little misty when I listen to a good Sade song. I mean, I like that. But you give me some Bob Marley, and I'm a happy girl. I think he's got the best rhythm section ever in the world. But then I'll go old school, man. I'll go like, give me some old like Billy Joel when he was like, or like Tom Waits when the piano was drunk. But
Okay.
I can get off on some really fun, cool, quirky, like Portishead. I think I like beats and I like to feel. So if you can make me feel, that's my genre.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. Number 3, dogs or horses?
Oh,
Oh,
that's tough. Ew.
I knew this would be tough.
I plead the
Forgive me.
fifth because I love them both. They're great. Like you can bring
I
a dog
love
in your
that.
apartment, but
I love that.
you can't ride your dog.
Mhm.
So like, what am I going to do? Do I want to sleep with my dog or do I want to ride my horse? So it's unfair and I plead the fifth.
I love it. Nobody's ever pleaded the fifth on these questions.
Mm-mm.
Shout out, Julie. I love it. You stood your ground. You couldn't choose. See, if you like just knowing what I know about you, I put that question in there to see. I knew it was going to be difficult. So I love it. I love you stood your ground there. And I couldn't agree more. I don't want to say I've been kicked by a horse, but I've had a bad experience with a horse once or twice, and I think it was mostly because of the horse's living situation than it was me, maybe. But I've had a horse once running on a beach. It was like this tour thing in Costa Rica, kick me off and like almost run me over, but I did the roll and had the ninja skills to like get out of the way and not get trampled, right?
Mm-hmm.
And another time I tried to mount a horse incorrectly and he booted me off the back. Didn't kick me, but like, the movement, pushed my body off of the horse both times. So, yeah. Do you have any tips? I'm squirreling really quickly for anybody afraid of horses, afraid of riding horses. Like, what can I do to overcome that fear? Because now I have a fear.
My suggestion for you to overcome your fear is to care for a horse.
Okay.
Don't even think about riding a horse yet.
Okay.
Don't even, don't go there yet. If it's meant to be, it's an honor and a privilege that these animals allow us to care for them and to have the ability to care for them.
Mhm.
And grooming them, mucking their stalls, picking up after them, feeding them, understanding what makes a horse tick. When the change of weather, you and I, we can just put on a coat, right? A dog, if we want to put on a coat on them, that's okay. With a horse, if it goes too hot or too cold, they can colic and they're dead within 24 hours. They're that sensitive of an animal. They're the kind of animal that if they can feel a fly on them, then they can sense your fear when you get on their back. So if you can work the ground, just work the ground with horses. You have a friend who has a barn, maybe you come spend time with me, we spend time around the horses, and you just, you start to feel who they are. Horses are really feeling entities. When you get in that space and you're on the ground with them, you have a much different experience with them. And then, if you feel comfortable enough to think you want to get on one, and then you try the right horse that is going to be patient with you, is going to understand. And then you always, again, much like Web3, you want a good mentor or a good teacher, someone who's going to explain to you why what's happening right now is happening. Sometimes we're going to bring this back. Someone who is, when I'm getting lessons on a horse and I'm a little nervous because I still get nervous, right? Someone who's teaching me says to me, Julie, just take a breath. The horse is feeling that you're nervous, so he or she is nervous. And I take a breath, and all of a sudden the horse will go, and now they're releasing with you. It is so, and but I spend 2/3 of my time grooming horses, only 1/3 of my time on the back of a horse.
Okay. I love it. I'm gonna take you up on that advice. I'll let you know if I have any questions, slowly but surely. They are beautiful, beautiful animals. And I hate even saying animals in that term. Like, they are beautiful creatures. I've seen many different types of horses up close, and just, they all have their personality, just like a doggo, just like, most cats, right, have personalities. Most animals, if you're willing to see it, has a personality, right? So I love that. Thank you. Without squirrel ado, question number 4, patience or, let me go full screen here. Purpose or, I'm sorry, forgive me, passion or purpose?
Hmm.
I don't know why I was saying those first two
Oh,
words.
passion. You know, oh, I can't take the fifth again. Gosh darn it.
Because
You
one
know,
could lead to the other, or
passion.
they could weave with one another, right?
They would, but it's passion. Passion. I think if you have passion, you can find your purpose. If you have a purpose with no passion, no one's seeing it. So I think you have to have passion.
Ooh, I love that. Okay. Um, Number 5, glass half empty or half full?
Mm. Always half full with a little squeeze of lemon. And if you're into adult beverages, perhaps maybe, something else in there.
I love it. I love it. Okay, to play off of that, right, in that flow, 6, favorite type of dance. Did you ever get into dance, like whether, because I know there's different choreographed styles of dance, and being a percussionist coming from your background, maybe you have certain experience with certain types of dance. Like, what's your favorite? Oh,
I was gonna go naughty, right? The horizontal lambada. Um, uh, that I love the idea of tap dancing. I have to be honest, unless you're really good at it, it could be annoying to watch, right?
yeah.
But so I wouldn't even try to pretend to do that. I love like ballet. Like, I mean, watching somebody do ballet and they do it really well and really passionate about when they're doing it. But again, if you can't do ballet, you're probably best not doing it. Um, I'm more of a freeform dancer. I'm not like Elaine on Seinfeld, but I am someone who, when I'm going into rooms, I really like to feel and have fun and groove and just kind of feel the moment. So I don't know. I guess freeform. I love to be able to watch swing dancing when people are doing it. I guess I was the person who was in the band. I wasn't in dance.
Okay. Okay. Oh, thank you for sharing. Yeah, I was just curious. And what's funny is it plays off of your favorite genre of music. A lot of it is about feel, right? Because your favorite genre might change depending, and then your favorite dance or your preferred method of dancing, right? Whether it's you pull out the tap shoes. I don't know who has like spare tap shoes laying around, but I would imagine it's like more like, do you like country? This is a random question. I personally, out of all the genres and dances, I could never pick up and enjoy country for some reason.
They play country at the barn. So, so I do
Mhm.
hear it often. It wouldn't be my go-to, but then again, in our family, I've met people who work out of Nashville and they write great songs and they're merging kind of that pop country.
Mhm.
Again, if it's a good song and it makes me feel, the genre doesn't matter so much to me. In New York City, I love doing things that are a little off the beaten path. And there was a time when I did tango dancing, where it was a place called La Belle Epoque, and it just by showing up, you had
Mhm.
guys and girls who would show up, and they would in the beginning would teach you how to do a little bit of the tango,
Mhm.
and then they would break apart, and there would be a live band playing, and then people would ask you to dance, and of course most of the time you felt awkward, but if you have a great teacher, that person whips their arm around you, pulls you in, and because they're so good, you become one with that person, and then no matter where they go, you go like this. So the idea of it, that for me doesn't translate into line dancing. I'm I might laugh and have a good time with my friends if we were going someplace where there's a mechanical bull. I'm probably not going to be the person on the dance floor doing a line dance. It just doesn't. I don't know. That's probably not for me. But I will enjoy you if you're having a good time. I'll watch.
Right? Because it's like choreographed too. And from what I'm telling, it's all about feel and the flow. And I love that. Thank
Yeah.
you. And yeah, that's what these closing questions are all about. We got one more, and it's kind of like a two-part question. So feel free to go as in depth as you'd like. But the whole purpose of them is to get to know you better and and have the audience get to know you better too. So, number 7, what does happiness mean to you, and how do you define it?
Hmm. Happiness is the sound of a giggle, is the sound of children having a good time on the playground, is a great friend calling you out of the blue that you haven't heard from in a long time. And when you speak with them, it feels like no time has ever passed. Happiness is being there for the birth of a life, or having the honor and privilege of being with someone when they pass through. And that ability to see the shift. And sometimes joy isn't always about that big bubbly. It's about the honor and privilege of being a part of something that you can't explain.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. Oh, why isn't that wrong little user error there? I love that. Thank you. Yeah. And that's a wrap with kind of like all my planned questions. Like, are there any last minute thoughts that you'd like to share? From here, what we'll do is we'll take a quick intermission post interview, and then we'll come back with some NFT news and alpha. You're welcome to join us if you'd like, but no pressure. I know we've been rocking and rolling for an hour and 15 minutes already. So
Wow.
I know time flies.
Oh, I just want to say thank you so much for having this here for our community, putting it together, taking the time, having the equipment, making sure that your studio is set up, that your time is put together, that you have a team that's reached out to, a number of us to see what our schedules might be, teaching me a new platform, really bringing things to the forefront, and also our community that shows up every single time. I've just called on a couple of them. If you have a talent or a skill and you present that in our space, we can elevate. So, my call to action is, how can I help you? What can I do for you, the person who's watching right now? How can I help you really have that dream stimulate and fuel the fire? And realistically, if you are not sure, if you're just not sure, reach out to us. If things aren't feeling right and things are just going, you guys, please, sometimes in this world, things do get a little dark. Things get a little blue. You guys, our DMs are open. We're on, don't be a creeper, right? If you're a creeper, you're going to get blocked. If you really do need help and you want to reach out, our DMs are always open. We're here. Don't let the dark side get you. Keep the light in. Remember, even when it's dark, if there's a little crack, that's where the light comes in.
I love that. Thank you. And how this reminds me really quickly of, I'm not sure how you feel about this, Tim Grover. I don't think there's any like controversy around him, but like he coached Michael Jordan, coached Kobe Bryant, coached, I think, Russell Wilson now. He says something along the lines of, it's actually in one of my journals, how can you see the light if you never go through darkness? Or like, there's this very powerful, I'm going to have to send it to you. Forgive me for butchering it right now. But that just reminded me, you'd be surprised how many people, if you're feeling any type of doubt or negativity, are going through the same thing. So please do not hesitate to reach out. I still battle it occasionally. That's why I have to choose to prioritize myself, just as I know Julie does the same. Nobody has it all figured out, but we can figure it out together. So don't be shy. If you need help, just reach out. I think that's a great way to end it. That's beautiful. Wow. Awesome.
Thank you
great.
so much.
Yeah,
I love being on. Thank you so much.
This was such a great time. Thank you so much for taking the time. And I hope this is round one of many, right? We can run it back. Maybe, as your schedule clears up. I know things are hectic leading up to the event. You kind of make me want to fly out to Vegas. I have a cousin to go see out there, but I'm not sure I can make it happen on a short whim. But
there will be FOMO. There will be FOMO. Oh, trust me. I already know what's going to happen. And if you're not there, you won't find out till it's already over and you see the pictures.
And this is next weekend, right?
No, it starts on Monday and goes through Thursday. And if you want to go, if someone's watching now and you want to go, I actually do have some gold passes. You are welcome to go on me. You can attend the conference for free. So if you have a cousin to stay with, it would only cost you a plane flight.
So you said Monday through Friday there?
Yep. Monday through Thursday.
Monday through Thursday. I will let you know. I do have a cousin to stay with out there. So Henderson. Hop, skip, and a step away from the strip. So
boom, boom, boom. It's right there.
Yeah, I house sat out there. So I'm familiar with the area. I love the city. It's its own type of vibe out there for sure.
Yeah.
But thanks again for hopping on the show. It's been a pleasure. For everybody watching, thank you. Cannot thank you enough. Let's shout out Greek. Ah, man. I feel so
The
good.
Greek NYC.
Greek NYC.
What's going on?
Dream loved your answer about happiness. I love it.
Oh, I have to say something. I was given passes to go to a conference because they couldn't show up, and they just gave me the passes to be able to show. How awesome was that? We were able to share,
Amazing.
and we were able to see other members of the community and make it happen. So thank you, the Greek NYC, because I will be forever indebted to you giving me those free passes, and I will share that on. If you are in Vegas and you want to go to Vegas Monday through Thursday, I have a couple extra gold passes. You can come. We can hang out. Just DM me.
Let's go. All right, Greek, if you fly out to Vegas, I'll make my way. Let's just put it that way.
You guys,
if you fly out to
seriously.
Vegas, I'll have to make a way. This whole stream is mobile, so I can just bring it all with me and do a Good Morning HODLer Thursday in Vegas. So I love it. This has been just so wonderful. I don't want to end it, but we should probably take a little break. I need to go grab my charger for this light and actually plug it in instead of running off the batteries.
Okay.
So
later, Gator.
Later. Thank you again. Have a great day. All right, everybody. We'll be back intermission here for, I would say, about 10 to 15 minutes. So BRB. So how do we... I'm trying to figure out, is there a backstage? I haven't chatted with a guest post interview with this loop on. Everybody can hear us, by the way.
Oh, they can. So if we're going to say something nice about everybody here, now is the time. Hey, everybody, here's the back channel. This is what happens backstage. We say nice things about everybody back here.
Oh, it's awesome. But I just wanted to thank you again for taking the time to hop on the show. I hope we didn't take too long today.
No, this was great. We took the perfect amount of time. It's all in perfect right timing, right?
Beautiful. Yeah, I love it. So we'll definitely be in touch. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll let you know about Vegas next week, about those passes.
I'm sending you a DM right now with the pass link.
Awesome. Thank you. You rock.
Bye.
All right. Bye. All right, everybody. I'll be back. Welcome back to BitmonkeyTV's excuse me. Good morning, HODLers. That was just a wonderful interview with Julie. I can't wait to have her back for round 2 and round 3. I feel like that hour and a half or hour and 15 minutes flew by, and we could have chatted 4 hours. So really hope you enjoyed the conversation as well. We'll make sure to post that on Monday. Chop down. I've been really, I don't want to say trying, creating new time blocks to be more consistent with content creation, but I've had some things pop up. So in a bear market, you got to take care of priorities, and had to take care of a few things. So nevertheless, staying consistent with the stream, staying consistent with what we got to do around here. So what's up, Moody Booty? Thanks for tuning in. Moody Booty is a nickname for my little cousin. He came and stayed in this very apartment before it was a studio. And matter of fact, where this camera is, there was said big ass couch where he slept on for like weeks. I forget how long he was here for. Great times, great time hosting him and seeing him just kill it over here. When you coming back, we miss you. And just know, if you want to come back and you don't want to see me, you just need a place to stay. This place is empty half the year, most of the time, aside from people checking up on it. So, and keeping an eye on it. And just let me know. Now, this segment, NFT Bytes, I'd like to focus this around a great times. Before I get started, Squirrel, I love a Greek. I kind of squealed on that it's funny. On that monkey call. I tried to do a little better there. We're going to be more consistent with the Moody. Actually, I'd like to bring you on the show sometime. Would you like to come on the show? We can do an interview around, and we can do it in both languages too. We can do one in English. We can do one in Portuguese. I think that would be really, really fun to keep a conversation going the entire time in both languages. Just let me know when you're ready. Let me know when you'd like to do this. Let's fucking go. No sleeping, no days off. Come on. I guess that's just me because of how motivated I am with the show. Now, without squirrel ado, I'd like to spotlight one project and one project only today. That's MoralMonkeyBytes, aka MMBT. By a show of hands, who here in the live stream owns one? And in parallel, or in addition to that question, rather, who's claimed their subdomain? Curious. Because I have a fun gift. Now, this one is reserved for BitmonkeyTV POAP holders, but they're still available, believe it or not. So what I'll do is I will order them directly from the supplier and ship them to the winner. What we're going to do here for our project to help bring more awareness, and since OnChainMonkey, their ethos is very similar, and I love their project since day one, so why not do fun giveaways, teaching people about proper security when it comes to storing their assets as well as giving away said hardware. What we're going to be doing, you have to claim a subdomain to be eligible. The only way to claim a subdomain of MBT.eth to win this is by owning a MoralMonkeyByte. If you don't own one, they're 0.022 to mint. You can go to mint.monkeybytes.io right now to mint yours. Go into, I'll put the link in this clip. Go to our YouTube channel, type in BitmonkeyTV space subdomain, and it'll be one of the top selections. I walk you through step by step on how to claim your subdomain if you already own a MoralMonkeyByte. I'm probably going to be giving away 3 of these. I'll let you know the frequency as soon as possible. Stay tuned. Details will be in the description of this video. So best of luck. Thank you for your support. Please do share this with anybody you think could benefit, anybody you think needs a hardware wallet who wants to take a roll of the dice, so to speak, at minting a MoralMonkeyByte, supporting a good cause. And that's a $20 turning into about $100 I think these are 150 at least. So, and we'll ship them directly from Ledger. So stay tuned for more details. We'll be dropping that this coming week with the Spotlight calendar. Shout out to Sakib, aka Coke and Clicks. He is MoralMonkeyBytes' first Spotlight winner. We're excited. His photography is phenomenal. He works with what he has, and I just love his eye. I love, like, we purchased a number of his NFTs to support him as part of the Spotlight program, and you're going to be seeing these given away to other token owners over the coming weeks. He's going to be coming on our shows, but he's going to keep it to voice, considering internet connectivity. Video is not going to perform well. So we're still working out the shows, the exact schedule, but that will be dropped by Monday at the absolute latest. So we're very, very excited about that. We're very excited about these giveaways that we'll be hosting, but you got to claim your subdomain. So if you have any questions, drop a comment below, and yeah, let's go. Now, I'd like to really quickly bring up a few things. Before I squirrel into that, I meant to do the job of the week for Web3. If you're looking for a job in Web3, here's the job of the week. I'm going to do a big pause right here because I don't have it up. But if you're curious on anything, if you have any questions, drop a note in the comments and I'll get to you in a second. Let me just pull up this link and the script. So today I will give you some info. I've changed the studio a bit over the past couple of days throughout the week, making it more productive. I had too many monitors on this stream desk. So right now there is nothing else on the desk except for two arms. The other mic is out of view. The sound for the mics, and then a place for my laptop as well as the iPad. And then on a tripod, fucking dope. Excuse my language. We have my new DSLR. We have a light right above it with a cold shoe mount. We then have these two articulating arms holding two ProArt 14-inch. One showing me the feed of the camera, one showing me the feed of the stream with all of the comments, and then my main laptop monitor right here. It's a little different than I'm accustomed to because I used to dedicate one screen, which I had two additional screens aside from this for the stream. I haven't done it yet, so bear with the technical difficulties today. But what I found personally is I work really good, especially with new ideas, just with a blank desktop. And then I have still my dual monitor setup over there. I essentially moved the docking station and two monitors here to its own desk. And then I have another desk, which you're going to start seeing in videos coming soon. As you've learned with BitmonkeyTV, we've really evolved into something, I think, really special that is going to be the line go-to, like what is in Web3, what is NFT. You get your answers from this channel. I have an overhead setup that's going to be permanent. I have a little tools area that's going to be permanent. We have a lot of videos in the pipeline, ideas in the pipeline. They're going to take some time to get to that finished product, but I promise you that these videos will be relevant and useful for at least a decade plus, right? I hope decades to come, but I know that things evolve and things change and information may not always be so useful. So that's why I'm really trying to craft it to focus around this next decade to stay relevant and do my best to play my part in helping mass adoption. Whether you believe it or not, it doesn't matter. It's coming, it's here. Just like people, all those articles about the internet early on, the internet's a fad, the internet will pass, right? Saying the same shit about crypto right now. I understand, rightfully so. But clip this, bookmark this, come back to me in 10, 15, 20 years, and we'll have a conversation around it. And it's not a matter of who's wrong or who's right. It's a matter of not being stubborn and at least have an open mind with newer technology and be aware of it, educate yourself on it. And that's what we're trying to help you do. So anything we can do to help, any questions in particular that you may have, please don't hesitate. Drop a comment below, whether you're in the live stream now or you're watching the recording. We're here to answer your questions. So the more I can answer one question 5 different times to 5 different types of audiences, the more content will be out there that will resonate with a different generation or a different type of audience. It's brick by brick over here, right? It's going to be brick by brick by brick by brick. It's going to take some time, but so far I've enjoyed this. Every Thursday we do this show. Now it's Good Morning HODLers. Today was a later stream. We're still adjusting a consistent flow, but by the end of the year, what you're going to see is every Thursday moving forward, period, we go live on Thursday at this time, no matter where I am in the world. That will be my promise to the show. And we're still sorting out the exact time frame for that. So, and let me know in the comments, would you rather have a consistent time, or would you rather me continue to change it depending on what continent I'm in? I feel like me changing it is very inconvenient, right? For a matter of just being consistent, of having that time of day that you can consistently count on me to go live, right? I'd rather have that than anything else. Now, I know this turned into quite the ramble. Let me pull up this Web3 Job of the Week. Love it. Curious, how am I doing on the camera? I've been trying to look more at the camera rather than, you know, it's a work in progress. All right. Share the screen here. Job of the week. Oh, shoot. It didn't pull up. I didn't save the proper bookmark. Give me 1 second. It was definitely in marketing. Where was the one? So Cointelegraph, that was the top of my list, but there was a kind of like runner up, I would say. There it is, Immutable X. I would say these are, let's call it a double whammy this week. Yeah, so changing every time isn't good. I agree. I appreciate it. So I'll pick a time of day. Does this time work? I'm honestly thinking 11 a.m. Pacific consistently. So that's 2 p.m. Eastern. That's 8 p.m. in Portugal. That's what, 5 p.m. in Brazil, depending on the time of day or the time of year. I think that's a good time. And then it stays true to it being a morning show when I'm in California. Or even earlier. I'm not sure yet, but it's always going to be this long form. We'll generally, you know, always aim to have an interview to start. Today's interview was awesome. If you missed it and you're watching this at this moment, please do take the time to go back. Watch the first hour and 15 minutes with How To with Julie Sue. We will be dropping this Monday as well in its own individual episode. Move that off screen. So we'll make sure to post these links. I want to talk about Cointelegraph. So if anybody's like a journalist or maybe a copywriter and you're trying to like find a somewhat stable route, right? A stable career in Web3. Well, in my opinion, like targeting someone like Cointelegraph, which if you don't know is amongst multiple tools and offerings, they provide news. Get it? Cointelegraph. Another one is CoinDesk. I don't know if they have any positions available right now, but positioning yourself in a company that is getting a ton of views because they have positioned themselves as the top 5 or 10 news outlets for crypto and Web3 related news. Well, you're putting yourself in a good position for job security. So that's why the Cointelegraph really stood out to me. Let's see exactly what they're looking for here. Let me go back. So Immutable, we'll actually X that out. I wanted to just keep it to one. This is based out of Chicago, Illinois. We're an independent global media business with editors and journalists across the planet, reporting 24/7 for the benefit of the largest cryptocurrency audience in the world. Across the major social platforms, we have almost 3 million followers, ranging from new adherents to decentralized future to the OGs who started the cryptocurrency movement. At Cointelegraph, we don't just accept difference, we celebrate it, we support it, and we thrive on it for the benefits of our employees, our products, and our community. We currently have workers in 20 plus countries from all different walks of life. And because of this, candidates applying should be aware the work hours will vary depending on where your team is located. We are proud to have such a global and diverse workforce, encouraging collaboration and understanding between all cultures. However you identify or whatever your path here, we are happy that you found us. Come join our team and help us build a global company where we're all proud to belong. Solid. Yeah, Zen, check. So they need a senior social media campaign manager. Compensation between 80 to 200K. You just never know if you don't apply. You can go here on the roll. We'll make sure to post this I've already posted it in the comments. I'm going to pop it in our Discord general chat right now, just so it's handy for you. And then for anybody watching this recording, it will be in the bio of the YouTube video by tomorrow. Check it out. Let me know what we can do to help here. Strong background in NFTs, crypto, and blockchain, whether in a personal or professional capacity. 4 years of experience in social media campaign management and general digital campaign strategy and management. 4+ years of experience overseeing social media managers, graphic designers, video editors, and other creative teams. 3+ years proven experience in a creative strategy role, ideally within the digital marketing/media industry. 3 years digital marketing experience, proven ability to work cooperatively, solid project management skills, strong knowledge with crypto industry trends is a big bonus. Now, core competencies: strong NFT and crypto knowledge, social media strategy and campaign management, digital marketing strategy and management, project management, strong leadership skills, excellent English written and verbal communication skills, excellent organization and time management skills. I feel like this is boring reading this off, so I'm going to stop here. I felt like a robot. Now, 6:30, I think it's time for some blockchain gaming, no? Do you own a Cozy Penguin? Let's go. Excuse me. We're going to pop open the screen here, full screen layout. Before we do, though, I got to do a few things. Who's going to come join us? Play. All right. Oh, 4 rounds left. Okay. So it's not too late. Let's see. 37 seconds. Yeah, let's just jump on this one. Wait, is there really nobody playing right now? No way. I know they opened up more start times. Is this a bug? I guess I'm the only one playing right now. Let's go. Anybody want to hop in this game with me? We still got 4 rounds left. By the time you hop on, probably 3 rounds. There's still room to win. Like, you just need 1.8 kilometers to make it past the first milestone. Let's fucking go. Do you want to hop on and play? I know they've made a bunch of announcements recently, so you're going to start seeing more consistent output rather than working on these big parts in silence so much, because it's bugging them too, right? They got second game coming soon, mini game coming soon. So there's going to be a lot of applications. You know, they really want to start doing promos and giveaways of like minted ones that are one of ones, but like right now there's one game. So you create this type of promotion and hype to come play an ecosystem, but there's only one game. You lose that retention. And Zoogie, the founder or co-founder there, shared this with, you know, their intent behind kind of pumping the brakes on too much promotion early on, because they want to have a nice selection of games to keep that retention, to keep that attention on the platform when they start running these bigger promotions. So yeah, so it's a great game for multitasking. So yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. So, it's going to shift on if we cover this live. Like, the main reason I'm covering this live is because of this different start time. So this week we started at the original start time. Next week, we're going to keep it the same time. Next week, I will tease, we do have Sposta joining us. And then the following week after that, we have Doreen Cummings from Bug Travels Far. I believe I titled that correctly on the project and brand. Excited for that. We're also going to have Sakib on the show and segments around Coke and Clicks, our spotlight winner, pretty much every day or every episode every week. We're going to have custom tailored episodes and videos and content for him as well as some Twitter spaces towards the end of October. Let's go. So I already made it past. No, I still have 200. Can I zoom in here? Here, let me get my video out of here. Yeah, what we'll do after this is after Cozy Penguins, we're going to talk NFL DFS. We're going to talk I think we're on week 5, right? I actually did a typo in the promo, realized it still said week 4. Forgive me if you caught that on Twitter. But we'll be doing week 5 first look. I haven't done too much research this week, but what I'm going to do is just go through my process and share my process into looking at the games, which ones stand out to me. All right, these stand out to me. What stands out to the public? Do any of these align and match? Are there any places I think I can get different? I talk a lot of different cash and GPP strategy and even single entry GPP, which in my opinion is, anything over a couple hundred people. That's a guaranteed prize pool. That's still considered GPP, but you can mesh in your cash strategy in those smaller single entry tournaments. So for those interested, just tap that football emoji in the comments right now. I enjoy it, so that's why I wanted to include it into the show, into the stream, into what we do, because I really want the show to be a reflection of what I enjoy. So, and I gotta say, I'm battling, like, starting a channel just called Malo might be in the works, just as a fun test for other things that I want to do. Let's go, Moody Booty. Thanks for the love. And here I am yapping, not even paying attention, and our Sling didn't launch. So I want to move over to Sling 5. Now, if anybody's curious on how to play this game, please do watch older videos or ask me questions right now, real time, and I'll explain it. But right now, the reason I'm moving from 3 to 5 is right now there's only an 85% chance it will launch. Now, it moved because I moved off. This one was 95. I bumped it up to 100 with me moving over there. I'll even go further. Now, higher chance to break, but that's okay. I'll take my odds. Now, in theory, though, like, if I really wanted to play conservative, I have 1 round left. I still haven't passed the milestone. If this breaks, I die. Maybe moving to Sling 4 might have been... No, I don't even think I would have bumped it up enough. You generally like going for 100% chance to succeed, right? Because, like, then you're going to succeed. It's just, what are the odds of it breaking or not shooting or not launching at all? Go 49ers. Let's go. I made it. Let's go. Awesome. Love it, Zen. And for anybody curious, like, it's a little darker, less like warmth to it, but the picture's raw, so I could go in post-production and add whatever I wanted to. I'm kind of learning how this camera works, right? And this thing's a fucking beast. Excuse my language. It's gotten me so curious, and I've just been so focused on my spare time, on photography, on how to manipulate this camera to do certain things and take certain shots and capture certain things that you see could be a possibility, but aren't in by your human eye, right? By just taking a snap. I got some photos. I haven't dropped them yet, but from this past weekend, I wanted to go catch the sunrise at the beach. So I did, but it was overcast. So I pivoted and I found something to capture. And there's so many different ways I can manipulate the photography for it to appear as if it's a landscape, or if it's at the beach, or if it's an island. Like, it's crazy. So I'll share more as soon as I have some time to do a little post edit, a little color grading. But I gotta say, getting creative is fun if you have the urge. All right, successful. I'm loving it. So now I'm feeling like I might get away from this sling, because here's what we're looking at. 85% chance to succeed. 35% chance to break. Yikes. I'm good. We still have 5 rounds to reach milestone 2. We already made a lot of distance here, so we can play a little more conservative. I want to go to sling 2. It's looking the best for me. Sling 3 will take you farther, but you have a higher percent chance to break, lower percent chance to succeed. This was just by the odds the best move, in my opinion. DYOR, NFA. And forgive those kids yelling outside right there, if you can hear that. So think about this studio. Old walls, old apartment. See if I put on the cozy. There we go. What timing? My battery to the camera just died. Huh. BRB. And we're back. Let's make sure it's working. It's working. There we go. So what was that? 2 hours and 10 minutes that battery probably went 2 hours and a half. It's not bad. And I wasn't recording, I was streaming. So I have it running through a video capture card. So it's technically not recording. It never overheats. I've never had an overheating issue with this camera yet. Even with 4-hour streams, it's pretty sweet. You just gotta swap out the battery or get a battery dummy. But the dummies that I got kept popping up warnings, and the output wasn't the same, and it just wasn't comfortable. So I have multiple batteries instead, and I just swap them out, get in the habit. So we're going to move over to Sling 5 because I want to risk it, and it might be too late. Let's try to move it. That's our general chat there. I wanted to pop up there. It failed. It failed because I was too late. But you know what? It worked out. Worked out. I launched. Now, I'm kind of feeling of moving off this sling. I'm not sure how I feel about this sling. Definitely don't like the numbers there. Just trying to figure out where do I want to move, because Sling 5, it doesn't look that much better. Sling 1 makes the most sense. I hate to say it. As much as I want to pin it to win it, I'm in the clear. To me, it's just like the best move right now, so I'm going to stick with it. And that's where I be. Gonna have to be okay with that. Oh, that was a horrible idea. What the heck? Are you kidding me? The safest sling didn't launch. Wow. See, sometimes you just don't listen to me and don't play conservative. You just pin it to win it. The fuck? Excuse my language. That's annoying. That should have been a shoo-in. That should have not broke. Go risk it. Oh, it's sketch night. That's why everybody's not playing. Okay. Everybody's in their Discord right now. Let's go give them a hard time. We should be able to hear everything.
Yes.
I was wondering why nobody was playing Slingshot.
Oh,
Everyone's
hello.
trying.
Sorry, we're
Oh,
still
hello.
working on the drawing.
No, all good. I'm streaming it right now, and I hopped on, and there was nobody on. It's like, what?
Oh, no.
So, but I'm killing it. I barely made it. So I'm going to finish the tutorial. Sorry, I missed sketch night. We had a later stream than normal today.
You are all good. We've just been chilling.
How's everyone doing? Hi, Tim. Hi, Giselle. Hi, Jay.
Hi, Malo.
Timmy boy's still sick.
Oh, I hope you feel better. I saw that in the chat earlier. Hope you feel better soon. Hope you're getting all the soup and tea you can get. Yeah, for everybody watching this stream, Tim Draws is the artist behind art, all of this art that you see here in game. So phenomenal artist. Give him a follow if you're not already at Tim Draws across all socials. Oh, I need a mute. All right, I'll catch you guys later. This is gonna get confuse me. I keep forgetting sometimes, like I'll explain something on the stream and I'll still be in a Discord chat. That's what just happened. All right, let's keep it moving along. Things are looking good. Time to get off this sling though. Wow, but that sling, 74% chance to break. That's nuts. That is just bonkers. What? See, now I don't even want to go to a conservative one. I just kind of want to just, you know what? Hey, you don't know if you don't try. So what we're doing is we're moving to a sling that has a 75% chance to succeed, a 74% chance to break, 45. Okay, 85-81 split. The odds are not in our favor, but we're just having some fun with it because we have a nice lead and we can afford it. We might regret it, but YOLO. See, you got to live with it. You got to live with it. Should have just stayed on Sling 2. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Now let's try to catch up for that negative 1.6 kilometers. We're going to chase the points now. We're probably going to get a double backfire. This is what happens sometimes. Oh, how the turntables have turned. Anybody catch that? Michael Scott reference. Yikes. All right. Got to chip away. 5.5, 4 rounds left. Yikes. Oh, no. I need to average over 1,000 meters. Shit. All right. I'm going to have to ride it out one sling. Sling 1 is going to have to get me to first here. Let's just hope that we don't have to move again. Come on, let's get it. Give me green. Give me green. Give me green. You see too much red. Too much red. All right. Off to a good start. We're going to stay here. There's really no reason for us to move. I mean, maybe soon, but right now we need as much distance as we can get. 3 rounds left. Yeah, we need this. This wouldn't even make it, but the hope right now is let Sling 1 ride out. 1 more round, hit Sling 4 after, potentially, depending. I actually don't know enough about the game mechanics. Like, if I were to move to 4 and then hit fire, would 4 multiply more? Or does that negatively affect if I move? These are questions that we should ask. I wonder if we can help them create some type of, like, here's how you play. Big ass, like, infographic / video would be pretty sweet. Yeah, I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna stay here. Nope. Didn't launch. All right. So, I mean, at least we'll get some coins out of this, but it doesn't look like we're getting anywhere, ladies and gents. Does not look like it. Thanks for the love, Zen. Thanks for the love. Penguin love. Yes. And see how they have notifications in the Discord when the slingshot's going live. They also have sketch night every week. So if you draw, we've been kind of working out a time that works. As I mentioned, I've had things pop up. So the Saturday comic drawings are coming soon. Probably as soon as this week, spontaneously, just we'll wake up Saturday and announce it. It will be more consistent, but I'm still sorting out some things with my personal schedule, which affect spare time, so. No. All right. Yeah. Lost hope. We're not getting it. It's impossible. Take our 25 tokens, I think, for making it past checkpoint 2. As long as you make it past the checkpoint, you get tokens, right? So checkpoint 1, I think you get like 5 or 10. 2 is maybe 25. 3 is 50. And 4 is 100. Don't quote me. I'm guessing. I could be wrong. Do ask in their Discord, but I believe that's the breakdown. Something along those lines. Hey, I'd be happy to chat too sometimes in voice chat. I'm sure you've been busy, but you're intent on Spotlight. We're going to open up the next application process while we're doing everything else so that people have time and aren't restricted in applying in the meantime. So stay tuned for that announcement. We're just prepping another form, probably just duplicate the old one, and improve on the process for sure. But, we're learning as we go. And we're just excited to have you here, man. So I'm excited to talk more about what you're trying to build. All right, give me my cozy tokens so we can move on to the Draftkings slate. Let's go. How many tokens? 18 rounds. Yikes. That was a tough one. I should have just not cared about playing conservative. I have a feeling we would be in the final round easy peasy on this one, but you can see that just one decision can backfire, and you should have just stayed on your other sling because it would have launched you. It would have made things way different. Burn. NFT Tool of the Week. Holders.at. Pretty sweet. You can take a snapshot of any NFT collection, whether you own it or not. Let's go to MoralMonkeyBytes. And let's just click on one at the floor here. Ooh, I might have to snag this 339. That's a good looking one. Grab the contract address. Copy there. Let's say we post it in here. You just leave block for latest, and it shows you the snapshot of said collection of all the wallets who own one. Pretty sweet. Very useful depending on if you're a project yourself trying to reward token owners at random intervals of time. We're going to be using this in parallel with filtering out which ones have claimed a subdomain by our snapshot dates, right? Just to tease you, we will be utilizing this for our giveaway for this OnChainMonkey ledger. So stay tuned for more info on that. The best thing you can do in the meantime is go claim your subdomain to be eligible. So let's go back here. I want to claim my tokens. Oh, okay. So I only got 25. Oh yeah, no, my math was right. So we made it past 2 checkpoints, 25, that's proper. So I think 10 is checkpoint 1, 50 is 3, 100 to making it all the way to the finals. So you're going to see this is a transaction. Currently I have 800, so I should go up to 825 in a moment, and that's when I log out. That is when I log out. There we go. I'm going to get started here in a moment. with the Draftkings week 5. Let's fucking go. All right, we're good to go. Good to go. Give me 1 minute. Let me just pop up all the tabs. Do we'll just grab the Millie Maker contest for lineup construction there. We'll go to Reignmakers. Is there any VFriends this week or Web3 focused ones? Let's see. Lobby. Looks like the VFriends promotion was just through 4 weeks. So, but we're still going to do the Reignmakers. And, nope, that's the Showdown. Let me grab a different one. Oh, main slate. Come on, buddy. What you doing there? Oh, more London games? 6:30 a.m. That would imply London. All right. Just about 60 more seconds of quiet time before we pop up the screen. Who else is playing Draftkings this week? Do you want to enter a friendly tournament? We can do friendly head-to-heads that don't cost a thing and we play for fun. I'd be happy to start hosting one. I just want to get a show of hands of who can play and who's willing to play. That'd be dope. So one little teaser is I do plan on, since I enjoy this each week during the NFL season, it's not going to be year long, but we're going to do something here for DFS Sports. Who knows? Maybe I dip back into basketball. I've had a lot of success in basketball. But the idea is like creating 7 picks every single week, breaking them down, doing the B-roll, doing all the slides, all the extra media, the transitions. Oh, that's right. Thursday night football. See, that's why I moved this stream time to be earlier, because I also love watching football. Is there any... Do you think I'll get a copyright if I pop up? Because Thursday night football is free for Amazon Prime. So I could just pop it up on the stream. I wonder if it would kill YouTube, or YouTube would kill the stream or not. Damn it. I really gonna have to pull out my phone for this. Thank you, good sir. How's the game looking? Yeah, I had Jonathan Taylor in my season long. Yeah. I lost last week. Lost. Wasn't a good week. Even with Hawkinson in my lineup. Fucking beautiful week with him. But the week before, I lost by less than a point. I should not have lost. Should not have lost. Some callback play reverted some points. And also my bench did outscore one of my players, and I could have, in theory, swapped him. But no, I was winning. And some call reversed and caused me to go back by like less than half a point. It was horrible. It was so depressing. I was so sad. It was so sad. So now I'm 2-2. Instead of being 3-1, you know, and I'm facing the undefeated person this week, and it's not looking too good. Their team is stacked. Okay, I have Amazon Shopping, but not Amazon Prime Video. Oh, you can do it through the shopping app. Sweet. Nope, they make you install the Amazon Prime Video app. Thought so. Bad beat. Oh, I just read that. He had a concussion. Dang. So Philip Lindsay was the move. I wish I placed more lineups because I was all over him too. I played a DraftKings showdown lineup. I don't want to. Let's fucking check its progress. But I didn't play anymore because I wasn't, I was prepping for the show more than anything. Let me see. Okay, no, wait. Too many people are. Wow, this is a defensive battle, eh? 3-6. Yikes. Third quarter. Whoa. A lot of my lineup wouldn't have done good anyway. But I do have Philip Lindsay in it. I was already looking at this. I set this 2 days ago. It was more the revenge narrative for me. I was like, ooh, they're going to activate him if Jonathan Taylor's out. And chances are, if the coach is with it and he knows the scheme enough, he'll play his former team for sure. Because the story with Denver is he was an undrafted free agent, I believe. He worked his way up through training camp. He was not your average story of getting drafted and being this hyped up player. He worked his way in, and I believe he was a Denver local native, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaking him for another running back, but pretty sure it was him. Dang. Okay. Without squirrel ado, let's get straight into it. NFL games. Bam. How we looking this week? I like referencing. If you're playing Reignmakers, I highly recommend you open 2 tabs. Have the week slate available for the correlating contest of the slate you're playing here on Reignmakers, because it shows you stats and their average on the season. It shows you the previous week, certain key variables that I think you should take into consideration when you're picking players. Unless you just want to pick them on a whim and go by gut feeling and names, by all means, set them how you set them. But I'm trying to give you a more informed approach so you can actually take down tournaments, right? And have strategy and theory behind and reasoning behind your picks. I think is very important. Latavius Murray picked up by Denver, but I doubt he played today. All right, I gotta put on this game. 3-6 though, low scoring, eh? I need to look into that. Is that? I don't think so. Nobody else does that. Hopefully you don't hear too much of that. Well, that's horrible. I had Pittman and Sutton in my lineups today, and my season long at least, and that means they didn't do too hot. Cool, sweet, fantastic. Looks like I might take another L this week unless his lineup does horribly bad. All right, so let's look at how I'm going to look at this week. I'm curious. Are you playing any DraftKings this week, Greek? I'm going to organize by implied team totals. I think that's Monday. I don't know why that's showing up there. So let's just go to the Sunday slate. And so far, the highest projected total is Philadelphia at Arizona. Then we have Chargers at the Browns, followed by Falcons at Tampa Bay. Some things to note. There's a 5-point spread currently. Eagles are favored. Ooh, I kind of like that for a Kyler Murray. Pending any Call of Duty beta testing this week. Let's go. Awesome. So let me know if you have any questions along the way, man, or if you have any thoughts or things you want to share too. We could use all the alpha. Now, looking down at some lower totals, some game environments I like. I like Dalvin Cook running against Chicago right there. I'm not sure how popular he's going to be, but he's in a very good spot at home, 7.5 point total. Chicago has not been that formidable defense we've been accustomed to the past decade plus, but they can be run on for sure. And I forget who showed that last week, but I was all over him on DFS and worked out well. Interesting. All right. So off the top, games I want to target. I definitely love this game environment right here. It's going to be very popular, but I do love it. I do love it. I gotta say, let's start off there with our QB selection. Look at Jalen Hurts becoming one of the most expensive QBs. Now on Reignmakers, you don't have to worry about this. If you own the card, you pop them in, right? I do own Kyler Murray and Jalen Hurts. So, and it does kind of give you their fantasy points per game here, as well as the opponent rank, but it doesn't allow you to click on the players. This is why I bring up the dual tab and look at previous weeks and the season as a whole, right? This is a free resource. You just got to pop in, open a new contest as if you're going to enter, and just use it for information purposes. We'll most likely set this lineup. This is the Millie Maker. So this is going to be a GPP lineup that we'll work on during the stream. That's a good question. I'm not sure. Quite a few. So I have 5 QBs. I have 31. So if I went to my flex 31, so that counts all my running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, and then plus 5 QBs. Plus I have some defensive players too. I don't know. I got a nice chunk for sure. I bought a lot. Eli Mitchell, useless. I do have some defensive players. Jalen Ramsey. I got a legendary somewhere. Gibson out of Chicago. A kicker that I never use. Irv Smith. I mean, I got some good ones, and then these are just lower ones, but I got my fair share of solid players that have been performing that I can count on. And like players that allow me to play certain stacks too. Yeah. Oh, 52. I was way off. Do I have any packs available? Can we open some packs live? I think I do. Yeah. Wow. Well, shit. Let's check out what we got. Thanks, Greek. Did you just see that catch right there? Thursday Night Football? Yikes. You're going to give me a kicker, eh? Cool. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I won packs. Who's going to get this catch, do you think, Creek? I hope it's Sutton because I got him in my lineup. Oh, yeah, that's Sutton all day, baby. Nico Collins. Okay. Dang, I didn't realize I had so many packs. I thought I checked these weekly. Yo, you got a lot of cards. Holy shit. So, have you been buying them or collecting them or buying the packs? Like, what's your intent? I'm curious. Are you playing as many contests as you can? That's awesome. How many lineups a week are you setting? Let's do some head-to-heads. Dude, let's I'll actually do that right now. I'll set up like a contest for us to play if you're down. $0, of course, right? We can always up the stakes if we want. Man, thanks. Okay, cool. No players I would put in my starting lineup. Great detour. No, thank you for that, though. It would have taken me a while to find those or realize those were there. I thought I was all caught up. All right, so I'm kind of feeling Hurts more. But here's the thing, like Hurts, he has the potential to score 40 fantasy points on any given day, right? However, if they got the lead by 3 scores, they're going to focus on running the ball. They're going to focus on time management. That's what that scheme's all about. So it limits his ceiling on some games. Now, this game with Kyler Murray on the other side at home as an underdog, I like the idea of Murray putting up points. I like the idea of actually going with Hurts this time, even in GPPs here, because I feel like he's going to be not his own because of how expensive he is and how appealing Josh Allen is, just $100 more on the week 5. It's going to be tough to build a lineup by spending so much at him, because for a GPP winning lineup, you're hoping for 56 points. I'm hoping for times 7 my value, right? So the chances of him getting that are not really there. Like, you could say a 5x is good and 40 points, that's his ceiling. Okay, great. Now that I think about that some more, I might not be going there on GPPs. Unless we just think that's a fucking shootout bonanza, which it could be. Hopkins is back this week, I believe, for Arizona. He's got those trusted hands that just barely miss a catch, if ever. I don't know. I haven't looked too much on what the public's on, so I don't know what to tell you ownership looks like. But I can definitely let you know a little bit closer towards the end of the week. Nice. That's dope. That's dope. Congrats. So you made well off the VFriends comps, I'm guessing. Competitions all 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Let's see. So another one that's interesting to me is Buffalo 14-point spread. Yikes. Now, GPP flyer. This is so silly for the millie, as they would say. But it's so cheap to build a lineup. Pickett. He came in for Trubisky last week, and he's the starter moving forward. I like pairing him with Pickens. If you're going this route, I was all over Pickens last week, and he did well. I think I mentioned him on the stream. He was a great cash game. He was only like 3,800 last week, and now he's came up a little bit. He's still, in my opinion, like he could have a 30-plus point game, easy peasy. And I feel like Pickett to Pickens is going to be a thing. So why not roll the dice on a Pickett to Pickens, bring it back with Diggs, keep it very simple for them that game, and leave it at that, right? You could game stack it, but the percentage of odds and like winning lineups that actually game stack and have won the Millie Maker, thanks to the research over at DFS Army. I can't expose their VIP section out of respect. I've been there for a decade now, following him since it was a blog, and he's now grown it into a big brand. But solid research, solid do-it-your-own research type vibes. Like, hey, I'll show you tools. I'll show you how I think, but you think for yourself. Develop your own train of thought. Develop your own way to come up with different game theories, right? Of how you think it's going to go. Forget what the public's thinking. So I owe a lot of my research and knowledge to that channel, no doubt. And I'm going to be curious to see, after going through weeks of research and consuming their data, are they on Pickett? Just look how cheap this is. Now, Diggs is expensive. He's had 2 underperforming performances. I know that's a tongue twister. I like this spot for him to come back. He's expensive. People might be off of him with the high spread. They might just play Josh Allen, get all the points from the QB, and not risk it with Diggs. So I like this GPP construction to start. I'm going to be shocked if the GPP winning lineup this week starts off with these 3 players. Now, the rest of our lineup, let's see. Now, Reignmakers, I wouldn't say play that. Hell no, right? You are playing that in a tournament where you're playing hundreds of thousands of people. You want to get different. And I've got to be honest. I don't care if I lose my money on this lineup. I'm going to play one like this. So we'll build it together today. And I have a feeling it will obviously tweak a little bit by Sunday, but you'll at least see where my head's at initially with GPP. Let's go back over here. So I do want to pair him up with AJ Brown. And I do want to bring him back with Marquise Brown. I think that Hopkins being back, I also don't have Hopkins. How much does he cost? $8. Holy smokes. This could also be a great opportunity for people to buy Hopkins cards right now. Have him have a good week or two. Flip it when he's hot if you're just trying to get some money. I think it's a great opportunity right now. He's a WR1, hands down. He should be a $30 card based off of market, looking at certain players as their respective WR1, RB1, TE1. If it's Mark Andrews, Kelsey, they're technically wide receivers. So could be some arbitrage right there if you're trying to take advantage of him coming back and people not being on it. He was probably cheaper last week too. But I'm going to go with the cards I have on this one. Now, what running games do I want to target this week? Generally, rule of thumb, right? Big spreads. Great. Is Kamara back this week? Do I want to risk playing him against Seattle? I definitely do. Is he back, though? I haven't read up too much news on Kamara. I know he was out for London, but computers operate for what it's worth. He's confident. He's feeling great, ready to roll. He's going to be out there. If he may have share of touches. So he might be on a limited snap count, but he hasn't performed too well. So, like, thinking from a GPP perspective, yes, please give me Kamara at 6,600 on DraftKings. Holy shit, that's a discount. Do I want to play him over here, though, on this Reignmakers lineup? Probably not. Let's see who else I can play. Who's in my cards? Dameon Pierce. I believe I mentioned him. I've been on him a lot this year. I did mention Dalvin Cook. Yes, I haven't used my superstar. I love how this lineup's looking. The only swap I would make here is Marquise Brown for DeAndre Hopkins if I could. And I might just go buy the card just to do it. But now, Diggs not being a superstar is a crime. It's a crime. It's a crime. I like this one right here a lot. And then on the flip side, like let's say you own two AJ Browns, you could take advantage of both game theories, run it back with a Kyler to his primary and then the other primary wide receiver on the other side. Always check matchups too if somebody's going to be shadowed. I haven't checked that yet for this research. And since I'm working with less screens, I can't pull up all the data I want to without revealing sensitive data. So that's behind a paywall and I want to respect their paywall. So who just dropped that? 83. Who is that? It must be a normally. Is that? No. 6-6. Yikes. Low scoring game, eh? I mean, just give me some garbage time touchdown points with Sutton, please. I'd appreciate it. And Pittman on the other side. I wonder how he's doing. Yeah, I'm liking this. I'm just going to submit it. I'm rocking it. I really like that approach right there. That's a good looking lineup. A lot of hitters. And if they hit all together, you bink the tournament. Does anybody else construct it the way you're constructing it? Who knows? You don't know. And if you don't, you know. Now let's get back to this GPP. Greek, I'm curious, what games are you targeting this week? Do you just focus, if you don't mind me asking, on DraftKings Reignmakers, or do you also do the week to week slates? And at like what capacity? Like I said, I'd be happy to create a little friendly, small competition. We could probably do like 7 slots and see if we can fill it for the week with people in the community. I think we can get enough people to fill 7 slots. I think that'd be super fun. Yeah, let's try to fit in Dalvin Cook since I like him so much already, just out the gate. I'm like, people are going to be hesitant to play him. Like, he hasn't been really showing out. And, you know, Jefferson has been, he's also been very vocal on him wanting to be the top receiver. Like, he's just, whew. But I feel like this could be a 3 touchdown Cook type of week. Weird feeling, right? Weird feeling. And when you have these weird feelings, let's fucking go. I remember this now. Well, I'm gonna create us a contest. Maybe I do it in social. Leagues. Create a new league. Let's fucking go. Name league. Circle of Thoughtless Flamingos. That's the first randomly generated name. That's comedy. What we're going to do is BitmonkeyTV League. What's your do you mind putting me putting this in live, or you want to DM it to me and I'll do it off screen? Just let me know. What I'll do is I should be able to create it and then just paste a link in the DMs for you. I guess so. So I create the league and then I create the contest. NFL. We'll do some classic. Sunday slate. Let's do a multiplayer. 7 entrants. $0. Have some fun with it. BitmonkeyTV week 5. Oh, BitmonkeyTV's weekly. Run it weekly. 7 entrants, $0. Great contest, free to play. I'm gonna post this in here, right here. Feel free to go join. Let's see what we come up with. I'll be sure if anybody's watching this, come join the league. Be seen. And I'll post it on Twitter. And when we chop up and post edit this long form here. Now, I'm going to continue on with this one. Now, this is actually a great opportunity to go more cash. So this will be our cash lineup. This is going to be our GPP lineup. And we've already set our Reignmakers for the week. So let's continue on. This is so just, but also like, ooh, could also pop. I like Fournette this week. I really do. But Atlanta's defense, I feel, is underestimated, though. But I do like him. I don't know if I like him for that price, but I'm going to try to squeeze him in and then go from there. Get different. I haven't looked at ownership this week, so this could change as I dig more into the week. I always start my digging Friday. It just never happens before then. So this stream is meant to be a first look type of DFS research where we discovered together. The link is not working. Oh, that's my entry. Ha. My bad. That is trying to edit my entry. That's why. Try this one. Hopefully you can copy paste that. And then, yeah, feel free to invite in your friends too. Keep it nice and fun for now. And who knows, maybe we create some stakes for it, or at least some stakes in the Discord, and we'll keep it free on Draftkings. That could be fun. Ooh, yeah. I'm liking this. All right, let's get back to it. Without Squirrel 2. I might get away from Fournette there. What else looks good? Let's go. I see it. I just got the DM on mobile Draftkings. Let's fucking go. All right. Conklin this week with, I mean, he didn't get as many targets. He actually didn't get as many looks, huh? Is that because I like it when younger quarterbacks come back? They like to dump off to tight ends, especially against formidable defenses, which Miami has. So I'm not sure why they're showing opponent rank 21st. I mean, I don't know. I feel like you should respect that defense. But with the offense in shambles, I mean, we just don't know. The reason I want to look here is Uzoma. Did he steal targets? No, he didn't. Okay. So, he's too expensive for me. Kittle at Carolina. Ooh, 5,000. He hasn't done anything. This is a great GPP play if you can afford him. I don't think we can afford him. We can try to squeeze him in. Let's see what happens. Let's now just go knock out a cheaper defense. What's the cheapest viable off first glance? Is JJ Watt out? What's going on with the defense here? I would imagine their defense wouldn't be the fucking bottom like that. I get that Philadelphia is on fire and undefeated, but Arizona's defense isn't a complete joke. They're not as good as they were, but I like the rule of thumb. Shout out Al Zenfield, Alvin, I forget, or Al. Has the rule of 3,000. Generally, first look lineups, just pick something 3,000. Don't overthink it because that kind of changes with your research throughout the week. So let's see what type of wide receiver, if any, I would fit in at 3,200. I mean, this is the ultimate GPP here. This is you hoping for that 3-touchdown Kamara game, 3-touchdown Cook game. That Pickett goes off to Pickens for at least 2 touchdowns, 100 yards, right? To Pickens itself, and then Pickett at least, you know, he can do a 7x, right? 51. Math right? I mean, for him to score 35 points, it's a stretch, but could it happen? It could. It fucking could. Against Buffalo, though, probably not. That's why this is the ultimate GPP lineup. Yeah, the more I think about it, you know, this will definitely change by Sunday, but let's finish it out. Let's see. Anybody at 3,200 that we could play. We could get a secondary stack going. He's gotten 2 every other week. I don't like that. Isabella, no good. Hopkins back. Wilson Jr., if either one of these are out. They both got the Q tag. If either one of them are out, Sherfield, I think he got a ton of looks. Yeah, he did get a ton of looks when Teddy Bridgewater came in. That could be a move there. Very cheap, but I can't afford him. So I would want to go with Wilson, who has been battling some injuries. But if you remember him from Miami, or I mean from Dallas, ooh. Do I want to risk? I mean, is there anybody else I can play? And then another benefit of going. No. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, at New York, though, that could do good. That could do good. But also, what's up with Hodge here? Yeah, he's not doing much. I was trying to go for a little mini secondary stack. Maybe I get away from Fournette is the move and then go with a slightly cheaper defense. Actually, the Rams haven't been able to figure it out. And Dallas has a great defense. Just a one-off, save me 500 there. Let's see who else I would go with now. Christian Kirk has been quietly getting 9 targets the past 2 weeks. Only caught 2 of them last week against Philly. That makes sense. Ooh, bounce back. Crazy week against Houston. I don't know. I don't know about that price. Damon Pierce. He's just popping off. Look what he did last week. I've had him pretty much every week since week 1. I was just on him too early in some of my lineups, but week 2 and week 3, I really started to be proud of my decision of just staying strong and keep playing him because I know it's coming. He's been a great cash game staple for me, but now he's priced up to 6,200. It changes things a little bit. Jacksonville's defense is also, I think, underrated. I don't think people understand that they can stop the run. I don't know, but Damon Pierce is shifty. A lot of people are popping this name up to have a nice signature game. I don't know. Tennessee has been getting run over, thrown over. It all depends on what they want to do. But with Dotson most likely out, that rookie, I don't know. Might be more opportunities for him or somebody else. We got Samuel as Q tag. He still is a cash game staple. He just had a down week, down 2 weeks. But first 2 weeks, he was looking great. Maybe I do want to come back. So a lot of people got burned by Lockett last week. 14 points wasn't enough against, where was Metcalf? 24. And had he scored a touchdown, I mean, he is becoming, I mean, what's the price difference there? Maybe I want to run back Kamara with a wide receiver on the other side. Lockett is the savings. But in GPP, chances are people aren't going to get up to him as much. So let's try to fit him in there. Let's try to fit Metcalf in there. Let's go flex 3,800. So it's going to be a wide receiver or tight end. And by the way, I never recommend running dual tight end unless it's just one of those obvious weeks or it's a dual tight end week. And my MME, my 150 entries for contest, I'll generally expose my lineups to only 15% of dual tight end, meaning, allowing 15% of all 150 lineups in the flex being a tight end. Some weeks I've had it closer to 80, but they're rare. And plus, I like to gamble and bet what nobody else is betting. So sometimes you got to make some bold calls. Yeah, I'm not liking how this is looking. I mean, this is GPP. Might have to get away from Kittle. I was never really sold on him out the gate. I think there's somebody else we can get to. Higbee has been, Stafford's favorite target, in my opinion, aside from Kupp. He's cheaper than Kupp significantly. Maybe we get down there, but against Dallas, I don't want to play that. Here I am ignoring that one, so maybe I get a little piece of that game by grabbing Goddard. I don't know how I feel about that. Ooh, Evan Ingram against Houston. I do like that one. Not sure what happened here. Oh, Trevor Lawrence had 5 giveaways, eh? Okay. He's still playing 3/4 of the snaps. But he's like, I don't know, first 2 weeks looked promising. This could be a GPP flyer right here. I kind of like it at that price. Boy, oh, how ugly does this lineup look? Would you ever play this Greek? I don't know. Just don't know. Yeah, let's go with Dallas. Shout out Greek. I know that's your team. You know, this is a GPP extraordinaire. Ezekiel Elliott used to be the talk of the town, not so much anymore, eh? But you know what? Look at that usage creeping on up. I don't know. Could this be the week that he gets a vintage 2 to 3 touchdown score and 100 plus yards? Is it? Do you think that's possible, Greek? Should I add this to my GPP lineup? Because this is the ultimate GPP call. Nobody's going to be playing him, especially against Los Angeles. Noah Brown, he has been Cooper Rush's. Like, is it your outlook this week, this season, dynasty, or all of the above? Yeah, I like his average here. Closer to 20-yard average. I just love him. That just shows his ability to get out there and get space, get open space, or at least run routes and meet the ball where he's supposed to meet the ball, you know. Long overdue. You think this week, like over the running game, you think the throwing game of Dallas is going to have a better day at Los Angeles? Let's go look at what Vegas thinks. Curious. I know we kind of skipped over that game because it had a low total. It did open up at 45, but it's gone down to. Be curious to see why. The spread's still similar. Like, the game script here shows don't play Zeke. Play a wide receiver or a tight end. They're going to be throwing, catching up in points, right? That's like the cash game. Like, I feel like that's where I would want to play Noah Brown, right? If that's what I'm thinking. But like GPP, nobody thinks they're going to dominate and get a lead. What if they do? That's the scenario that I'm talking about in GPPs, that picking Elliott. Ooh. See these things we don't know. I wonder if it's the same right here with Pickett and Pickens too. I know Pickett was just drafted this year though, so never mind. It's not the same. So but nobody's going to be, this is so tempting. This is so tempting. His average sucked last week though. But he did get 2 targets in open space there. That's nice. If he gets more of those, give me like 5 to 7 and 12 to 15 touches at rushing. I'd be happy with that type of production at 5,800. Okay. So what I'm hearing is I want to play both. For some reason, I'm talking myself onto Zeke here. I don't know why. What's wrong with me? I've stayed away from him religiously. Just nope, not playing him. Nope. He burned me too many times in the past. But what if this is a silly for the millie GPP lineup here, and we're going to keep that as is? Let's move over to cash. I think that's the move for GPP. Cash game staples. I'm going to go the other side of my GPP lineup and I'm going to try to fit in Allen to Diggs. And then I just have this gut feeling about Pickens still being underpriced. So I'm going to construct the stack the opposite way, but with the same receivers. Is this the best cash game strategy? Probably not, but I don't know. This place I'm starting personally. This might shift. This might change. Like, Kyler Murray might start to look better. Like, he saves money. He allows us to build different lineups. So just move along. I do like Cook here. I do want to squeeze him in, even pre-research, right? I think he's going to be, he might not be touted for cash given recent production, but like last week was promising. 20 attempts with 2 targets in London. Jet lag. That's all I got to say with that. Jet lag. He's at home playing Chicago, and I meant to go look this up earlier. Dalvin Cook. This is a free Tool Pro Football reference with hyphens in between the words. Let's go check his history at the Bears. First, the Bears. So last year, Actually, I think he got injured here or something. Madison came in. You know, he had this one good year, and it was a loss too. Yikes. 2020. Could we see that again? Possibly. Possibly, but maybe there's another better cash game move here. Now, if Kamara's out, Ingram becomes a cash game staple. I think you just you want to lock him in there. I don't want to say go all in, but you want to consider him at that price. If Kamara's out, right? So let's actually construct this really the opposite of our GPP. Like we're thinking Kamara's going to be out. I want to save some money, get that RB1. Yes, and go with your gut right there. Yeah, I'm going to enter this one, but I have a feeling the only thing that would change is most likely the tight end here and then the defense. But also, I kind of like the idea of doing this as a GPP. Evan Ingram is the one I'm not confident on. And I feel like after more research, I might have to switch this one up, right? If Kamara's out, he's out. I got to switch things up. But that would allow me to put Ingram in there and then go up on tight end by another 1,000. So let's see. Continue along. You know what? Revenge narratives and all that fun stuff. I don't know if there's any revenge narrative, but he's been there for Kyler. He has. He's been scoring some good scores. Nothing ceiling, but it's coming. Why not here against his former team that he won a Super Bowl ring with? So could be a way to get exposure to that game without touching the quarterbacks and the wide receivers. Like this would be also a silly for the Millie one this week. You know, late Slate hammer, just hit Goddard and Ertz and hope they hit a 30+ point Hawkinson week that he had last week. You just never know. That would allow you to construct your lineups a little differently. Let's keep it with Ertz for now. Cash game approach. I am also biased, but the 49ers defense is not to be played with. I think Baker Mayfield makes a ton of mistakes. I'm going with them. They play good on the road too at 10 a.m. Or is that an afternoon? Ooh, that might change my thing. There's something about 10 a.m. games on the road that the Niners just dominate on. The 1 p.m. when they play the later slate on the East Coast, I think it fucks with their clock. I don't know. It's just something I've noticed over the years. I have no data to back this up. There might be data to back this up. Feel free to send me links if you find it. But that kind of steers me off of them now. I know these weird things about the Niners that help me give the edge on showdowns. I generally always profit on their showdown slates. Anytime it's just them plus one team. Love those slates. Always my best ones. It's weird. All right. So I was talking about Jacksonville's defense earlier. I think that's a low on play, but you know what? Here's the thing about Minnesota and Chicago. I believe that's a division game. If I'm not, and that team has seen each other quite a bit. I like the idea of pairing them with Cook just for now. I might get away from them. They're rather expensive, but the QB play on Chicago's side, I mean, it doesn't do much. Look at his scores. Doesn't do much. fumble, 2 fumbles. I mean, playing the defense against him is not a bad idea. So cash game, simple, pick them, forget them. Now 4,000 left. Can I get a wide receiver a little under so I can play with a little more? Probably not. Let's go check Tampa Bay's. I just don't like it for cash, but if Godwin's and Julio Jones and Gage and Perriman are all out, like look at Beasley or Scotty Miller for some salary savings this week, right? But you got to keep an eye on injury reports here, so it's tough to just pick them right now. Plus, I hate how he spreads the ball around so much. It's tough to predict who's going to get most of the points. Can we get... unless we play off of a game stack, let's go check Buffalo receivers. We don't have enough for him. I did see him popping, though. Yeah, they've gone with more 7. But Crowder's already out. McKenzie's got the Q tag. Kumaro's got the Q tag. This is an interesting spot to also... I hate going this way in cash, but since we're looking for cheap wide receivers, this one might be viable. We just got to wait for the week to develop. Let's go with something a little more confident. Kind of liking the Surefield bet with the Teddy Bridgewater connection. Let's go see if that was a myth or not. I just Google 2 players. Generally, if you don't see any articles off top with the 2 names, there's nothing to really dig into unless you have some crazy alpha. Doesn't feel good. Are there any injury news that we can take advantage of as running backs that are cheap? Kind of want to get pieces from this Philly game now. It's just in cash, generally, like I like to go with 3 running backs. It's just I'm not confident in Surefield, but let's just close it out with Surefield for now. I can only go so far with so much research. Zach Moss. Is it the Zach Moss week? That's GPP all day. Now, Algier. This, I think, is probably going to be very popular. Cordell Patterson is on injured reserve. Shocked I didn't look at this earlier. I was going to find it. That fits in perfectly right there for now. I'm actually... I want to move him up there because I'm more confident that he's playing than Kamara and this Murray. Wait, Latavius Murray went to Denver, right? Yeah, he already went to Denver. Why is he showing on this roster? Let's get a piece from Philly. I like how this. I want a piece from Philly. I really do. Who's affordable? I mean, this is a GPP all day. Wow. Way to just kind of like put it into existence there. And hey, like word of advice, always put your cash lineups into your GPPs. I've once had a head-to-head lineup. Would have scored, top 5 in the Millie Maker. I just didn't play it that week in the Millie Maker. And since then, I always put my cash lineups into the Millie Maker because you just never fucking know. You just never know. I was so sad that week. Yeah, definitely not doing that for cash. But a lot of his receivers here. Can I get up to Devontae Smith? Just doesn't. He had this breakout game. I had some shares. AJ Brown's that staple though in cash. We just can't get to them. I'm going to go look at running backs. Forget this. Yeah, I mean, Mark Ingram fits perfectly. We'll keep it at that because that'll be a great cash game right here. Lineup, assuming Kamara sits. And that's what it's going to look like. I'm going to update that there. I'm going to enter that there. And we already entered that there. And that's a wrap. That concludes the week 5 Draftkings first look segment here on BitmonkeyTV's Good Morning HODLer show. 3 hours and 30 minutes. Shout out. Thank you for tuning in, Greek. Thanks for making it this far. Everyone for tuning in. Everybody who kind of dipped in and out throughout the stream. I know this is long form. It's tough to catch the whole thing. So, but we're here to do this every week consistently. Time to be determined. It still fluctuates, but that will change by January. So thank you so much for being here. Let's get to the POAP section. The secret phrase is 3.3 space followed by your public wallet address. Keep it unique. Keep it like random. I'm going to open up that chat right now. Yes, sir. Let's fucking go. Thanks for making it this far, Zen. That's crazy. Hope you're having a great evening. Greek, thank you as well. Good luck this week. If anybody's curious and are just tuning in or watching this, join that league. Join this. There's only 7 slots open. So if you have a Draftkings account, it's a free contest that we're running here weekly. 7 slots, a BitmonkeyTV friendly contest. Who knows? We might reward the winners with digital goods. I don't fucking know. But we like to give around here. And not only give free stuff, but help guide, help impact, help voice, and help educate. So that's what we're here to do. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for making it this far in the stream. I'm adding an end screen, end tiles, recommended videos. Click on the one that's most appealing to you. Please do hit subscribe if you vibe. I think it's on this side. This circle on this side. These boxes on this side will take you to future videos or other videos that we have in our catalog. So thank you so much. We have a 5-minute timer for that POAP window. So get your POAPs in. I do see Zen already just posted his. I'll be closing that at 8:05. So I'll be nice today with 6 minutes. Can't say it enough. Thank you again so much for tuning in. Hope you've enjoyed this long form segment of Good Morning HODLers here on BitmonkeyTV. Until next time. Peace. And the end screen is still going. So blocks, subscribe, block.